leaning into the thought of like the followers, they don't really matter anymore. I know some people that got 3,000 followers with everything they do is viral. Then you got the people, out there that are, they got the 4,000 followers, I got 5,000, 4,000, 2,000. Well, put that many people in a room. Tell me if you think that you don't have anybody to talk to. And then the other side of it, I do that sometimes where I'm like, oh man, only 7,000 views. And I'm like, oh, well, that's over 2,000 more people than you can fit in Mesa Amphitheater. In my mind, anything over 5,000 views is a win.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of people that gave their attention to whatever it was you're doing, whether they watch for 3 seconds or the whole thing,
Welcome, man. Excited to have you on the show. Super excited. We have Patrick on today. And it was interesting when I was saying before we got on air, when I first saw this guy, I was just like, man, like, what is this? Because I moved to Gilbert, been here since 2020. And then I saw the Instagram, downtown Gilbert AZ. And I was like, what the heck? And a lot of our clients that sponsors Liftoff Agent, Liftoff Agent is a sponsor for Liftoff Experience, basically do like moving in, living in, moving to type stuff. And so I was just like, man, who is this guy? And then I know from afar we've been supporting each other, been seeing what you've been doing, showing me some of the videos, some of the activities. So if you want to know what to do in Gilbert, your guy Patrick's here. Welcome to the Liftoff Experience, man. Super excited to have you on the show, bro.
Cool. Glad to be here.
Heck yeah. It's been months in the making too. And how far are you far from here?
Well, I actually live. My house is in Queen Creek.
Okay.
My girlfriend lives in Arcadia.
Okay.
So I spend most of my time in Arcadia.
Really?
But obviously, with everything I do in downtown Gilbert and have been in Gilbert, I lived in downtown Gilbert for 15 years.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, I was right there in Arbor Walk behind like Barrio Queen and the.
Was that the catalyst? Is that why you kicked it off? Like, what was the catalyst to kick off the Instagram channel?
Oh man, that's jumping right in because that's a story in itself.
Okay, we got time, bro.
Okay.
Take your time.
So, really what got it going was, being located in downtown Gilbert and I was running, helping run Romeo's Euro Cafe, his family-owned restaurant. So we all kind of played boss when needed. And so, my side of things was, watching the downtown area kind of take off. In 2017, because Postino was opening.
Okay.
And with Romeo's being a wine bar.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting to watch, seeing people line up and down the street and kind of seeing us empty because everybody wanted to go check out the new spot.
Yeah, of course, right.
And so I just remember kind of walking out there every day and just watching that line all the way down past where, at the time it wasn't even there, but, past Snooze all the way to Oregano is just people lining up waiting for the new spot.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, we've been doing this down here.
Yeah.
Romeo's has been there. And, I just didn't want people to forget about what we were doing there because, well, we had better food than everybody anyways. So
there you go.
So kind of just was looking for something that was missing. And watching everything, kind of take off. And then, eventually all the different restaurants started to roll in. And I was like, someone's missing or, and so it kind of was one of those things that just kind of came to me in like 4 a.m.
Really?
Created the account, went to bed. I was in the industry at the time still. So woke up at like 11 a.m.
Okay.
To get the day started. That's how it goes. And I had posted a picture and woke up with like 800 followers. And
really?
Yeah, it was just a simple picture too. So I was like, well, I think we're on to something here. Let's just run with it.
Dude, congratulations. Talk about a liftoff moment there, man. That's super cool. It's interesting how that kind of like can come to Jesus moment come. Yeah. It's like almost like, I don't know, angels, call it what you will, just all suddenly like your higher self, whatever it is that you believe, it's like, boom, like, here you go. Like, here's the idea. And that's so smart because, for someone like myself moving here, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to eat. I know nothing.
Yeah.
And to find this Instagram channel, and so links will be down below. Y'all got to check it out. It literally 20,000 plus followers now. So kudos to you. And there's so many things to see, to check out, to do. I mean, thousands of hundreds of thousands of followers, which is awesome, and views. So then basically from that idea, like, did you like kind of like pencil it out, or you were just kind of going with the flow? You're like, all right, so I'm going to start off with promoting like your spot and then kind of go from there, or
I mean, at that point in my life, I was really just looking for something, to feel like I was a part of it,
yeah,
because I was in a tough spot in life,
okay, okay,
mentally,
yeah, yeah,
financially,
yeah.
and just was kind of trying. I was just looking for something,
There you go.
just trying to find that it,
Amen.
and trying to find what was gonna, like you say, what was the lift off,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, it was just the idea was to make sure that people didn't forget about where I was at and what we were doing, and
Mm,
um, but really I was just trying to reestablish myself and find myself again because of the past that I had
wow.
found myself in, and where I had been headed, but luckily, God willing,
Mm,
I was saved and rescued from the lifestyle that I was living, because it
mm.
wasn't looking pretty and I was in a lot of trouble.
Oof, amen, man. So you're talking about like lifestyle in the industry, so nightclub type stuff, like promotions, like was that the industry at that time?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, not I kind of been in the industry in different areas. I was back on MySpace. It was music promotion, and it was like,
MySpace, I
yeah, dude,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it actually, I made a big splash on there a long time
Really?
ago. Yeah, dude, it was
Nice.
huge. I created a page. Well, actually, I created a MySpace that was. I know we're going all over the place, but whatever. We're gonna
It's
talk for
good,
two
yeah.
hours, right?
Yeah, we'll bring it all together.
Yeah. So, and just kind of that was my first, time building a community online.
Okay.
Didn't even want to be on there, but all my friends were making music, so I just started adding them all to one list. And before I knew it, I was like, why do all these music people keep reaching
Yeah.
out to me? And so I was like, Arizona music only, Arizona stand up. Boom, blew up, dude.
What?
Yes, it was crazy. Back
That's when you
then,
know you're in the alignment. That's when you know you're like in that right lane that you're supposed to be in.
yeah, 100%. Um, so and that ended up, I think there was like at the time there was like 25,000 local artists that were following
Damn.
and connected to the page, and I could like post people's music and like just you remember how you could like post someone's or you could post a song to your account, and you could have
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 songs that you could put on there,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would post a song on there and it would have like 200 plays, and then the next
Wow.
day they would go from 200 plays to like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 plays overnight.
Dang. That's
And so,
sick.
yeah, the channel did really, really good. And, I got into doing concerts for a lot of artists that I grew up listening to and stuff. So that was,
So you've been a natural kind of promoter, it sounds like a connector, a promoter, and just being someone that could like just share,
yeah.
a lot of people's visions, goals, whatever. Like I saw on your page, you were like picking companies to help out with like media and help them with get additional growth. And so it sounds like you're just like a kind of a natural like supporter for people, almost like
Yeah. I'd like to say that it's a media company that I've built.
that's
And,
sick.
that the goal is, not to be an influencer, but to
Okay.
bring influence,
Ooh,
and
I like
actually,
that.
so I think that that's kind of the direction I would like to say it's headed and where it's
Yeah.
at, and it has been, and I got a lot of things in the works, but kind of to get back to what you were asking about, if it was kind of just to promote what we were doing or to promote the whole area.
Yeah.
I knew right off the bat that with the name being what it was, and with the location and watching everything that happened, where it was going to go. So right out the gate it was like, yo, this is the spot and we're a part of it.
Mm.
And so, I just started running up and down the road, looking silly for a little while, because I had,
Yeah.
at the time, I was just kind of like, bouncing around and picking up part-time jobs at all the spots as they open.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I did some bartending at a rig, and met the whole crew there. Did
Nice.
some bartending at Sushi Brokers, met the whole crew there.
Okay.
Went and picked up a job at Barrio Queen. Did a little bit of bartending, a little bit of serving there, and
Mm.
kind of met everybody there. So just kind of working
Yeah.
my way through the industry and kind of,
Okay.
learning how to, not necessarily pull the strings, but see the strings
Yeah.
through, kind of getting everybody on board with the idea that I later had. I didn't really
Mhm.
realize what I was doing whenever I was bouncing around. I was just kind of trying to,
Mm.
make a splash, and, I had done it before. So I was just running with it until I knew what I actually was doing. And then,
I love that.
yeah, so by the time I started the account, I was able to go to all these spots that I already knew the entire crew. It was like,
Yeah.
yo, hey, get on board, hit it up. Like, I'm running around with my cell phone, taking pictures of people, and they're just like, "Oh, the photographer's coming today." They reached out to us on Instagram, and then I'd show up with my phone, and the whole crew's like they're ready for a photo, and I'm just like, you know. So they were like, "Okay, well, it's not what we expected, but whatever."
It's all good.
No, it was funny because it was there was the people that were kind of like stupid, and I was like, "You'll see," like give us some time.
Exactly.
I loved it. I've never been someone that takes criticism, and quits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been someone that could take criticism and get pissed off and use that,
Yep.
fire, and I'm
Amen.
not saying that that's the healthiest way to go about it, but sometimes that's what works.
Yeah.
Um,
I love that.
so just kind of, there's been so many people, just so that I don't get ahead of myself of
Mm-hmm.
making it seem like it's just been me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I've had so many friends, so many, whether it was, people involved with being in front of the camera, behind the camera, just supporting,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole community of people that I can think of in my, whenever I remember back,
I love that.
that have helped. Obviously I was, the catalyst, to
Mm-hmm.
kind of keep it all together, and had the vision, and,
Yeah. Yeah.
brought everyone together because, but it's been a lot of people that have helped over the years. And it's been pretty amazing to watch it kind of unfold and become the platform,
Yeah.
for the community. And I know there's, over the years, I've heard back and forth of, you know, the way I go about things.
Yeah.
A lot of people love it. Some
Yeah.
people, it's not their favorite, but I don't care.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna like all 31 flavors of Baskin Robbins.
No,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Like, at least you're doing something to be of service.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is a blessing. And there's a book I read called this. What was it? The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Oh yeah.
And he had stories in that book about how your stories, you said, about being in the trenches,
Hmm.
from bartending to serving and what have you, getting a completely different perspective, and then being able to share that perspective with your audience, giving people more of like a behind the scenes, like open the hood, like this is what's going on,
Yeah.
instead of it just be just like, I don't know, 20,000 feet. You're now getting 1,000 foot and getting more of an intimate experience. So before it turned into a media company and all that type of stuff, it sounds like you were just kind of like, I don't want to say failing forward, but just figuring it
Oh,
out.
100% failing forward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I had, um, and that's a good way to look at it, because that is, how I leaned into it at the beginning, because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everybody, I got everybody involved. It started off with just lots of group photos, get everybody that everybody loves at all the restaurants together and take a
Yeah.
picture. So it's like, oh,
Okay.
I know that's my favorite server. That's my favorite bartender.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, yeah.
that's my guy over there. That guy, like, and so, just kind of getting everybody on board, and then, tagging people, and people getting to kind of get a peek into, their life, and getting to
Mm-hmm,
see,
mm-hmm.
their favorite, like they would have never went. I mean, some people do go look up everybody, but like
Yeah,
most of the time, I made it easy for them to like, oh, let's
yeah,
see what he actually, oh, he likes to skateboard. He goes
yeah.
hiking. Like that guy's cool. That's why I like him, and whatever.
I like that.
So it was just, it was fun, but yeah, before the media company, and kind of failing forward. I mean, a lot of it had to do, with just, you know it if I'm going to give credit to something, obviously it's God. And I shouldn't say
Mm,
something, but, to
I love that.
purpose,
Yeah, yeah.
and a big credit would, go towards, you know not to jump into, get too deep off right off the bat, but, I lost my brother 10 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, and so,
sorry about that.
yeah, man. So I, at that point, that's whenever I decided to give up drinking alcohol,
Okay,
because,
good for you.
yeah, because, and I've actually, it's been 10 years now. So,
Wow.
at that, whenever I was doing that and starting the account, and kind of trying to make my imprint in the
Mm-hmm.
community,
Mm-hmm.
just because I wanted to be a part of something, I wanted to, be of service to others. Like,
Yeah.
everybody knows, you give and you get back, and,
Yep.
it's rewarding. And,
Mm-hmm.
we've read it in every book, and everybody talks about it. And,
Yep.
every religion talks about it in its own way.
Yep.
Um, so I just, was lost.
Mm.
I was at the point, I mean, I was hung up between
Mm.
5 different court systems.
Oof.
Yeah. That's a whole nother story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just trying to, trying to get my life together, and
Hmm.
bounce back, because I had lived a lifestyle for, a handful of years where people were worried about me, and, they didn't know, if I'd be around,
Mm.
because of the choices I was making and the things I
Yeah.
was doing. And, so,
Hmm.
and I just kind of got sick of the hustle in the streets, and kind of decided, like, it's time to I'm on my last straw. Pretty much, if I get
Mm.
in trouble again, I'm in a lot of trouble, and
Oh
I'm
shit.
gonna take a trip. So
Yeah, yeah,
um, yeah, and crazy enough, I found downtown Gilbert and found Romeo. Romeo
yeah.
was a
Mm.
huge. He was kind of like that mentor I needed,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because whenever I found, the community of downtown Gilbert, I was the farthest thing from Gilbert. I'm just a
Yeah.
kid from Globe that, just totally, world of difference between where I came from and
Yeah.
what Gilbert is. And not to say anything bad about Globe, I love it. They've come a long
Yeah.
ways. And it's actually taken off over there too. But Romeo was the type of person that I needed in my life at the time, because he had that old world knowledge.
Mm.
He didn't care about my feelings. He just gave facts.
Wow.
So I would go to him and I'd just be, mad about this or that, or just so confused. And,
Mm.
and he would just simply put it like, well, stop being stupid. And I was just like, what? So
Is that simple?
yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, sometimes simple is what we need. One of my
Amen.
favorite quotes is the most simple quote there is, and it's from Earl Shift. So
Okay.
he was the mentor for Jim Rohn,
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
was the mentor for Tony Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
But Earl Shift, he was very no education, just very simple. And I remember hearing something where Jim Rohn was talking, and he told him, he's like, well, if you want to change your life, you have to change your life. Simple, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Things like that. I love it. Because like I didn't do great in school at all, so you got to
Yep.
keep it simple for me sometimes.
Yep. And that's what I think a lot of people do too is they overcomplicate things. It's like what's that other saying? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like it makes it so complicated. It's just like compare yourself. Why am I not here? Why am I there? Who cares? Just
No,
keep moving forward.
100%, man.
That's awesome. So was he one of the he was the owner of one of the restaurants
He
that
was
you're
the
working
owner
at?
of Romeo Zero Cafe,
Okay, okay, the cafe.
and kind of like
Is it still around?
it is. It's still down there.
Okay.
Romeo had passed away.
Ah, God bless.
Yeah, a couple years back.
Okay.
He struggled with a couple things there at the end. And I actually got to be one of the last people in there with him
Wow.
before he passed, and just had amazing conversations. He just, when there's, outside of my family, because my family's amazing family.
Hmm.
I got, a couple really good close friends, but when it comes to people, from the outside that have had an impact on my life,
Hmm.
I always make sure I mention him.
Hell yeah. I love that 100%. And
Yeah.
that's why I feel like, anyone out there that you have in your life, make sure that you, go that extra mile, make that phone call, send that text message, tell them that you appreciate them because having that one person can make the world of difference.
Oh yeah.
And I think that it makes a lot of sense to find your lane, a way that you could be of service. Because I feel like some people out there could be watching right now and they're totally lost. And they have no idea. What am I going to do? I have no idea. I live at my parents' house, or maybe you're struggling with drugs and alcohol as well. And there's ways to be of service, like what you've done in now such a big way that you're impacting thousands of hundreds, if not who knows how many people, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And basically going from the industry, which like the music industry and that type of stuff, and the alcohol, to then getting into this and now doing all this and now being sober for 10 years, which is huge. Where would you like to see this go to? Like what's your vision in the future for it? What's your thoughts? Because now you have the media company, you said you're doing more with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the works right now that I'm pretty excited about, because it's getting attention on a bigger level than, just the downtown area now.
That's awesome.
So, there's a lot of talks going on. There's some sponsors that are coming on board that are outside of the downtown Gilbert area, but have a big name in the community and
Love it.
recognizable. Everybody knows them and loves them, and they're
Love
part of
it.
everything. And so, there's two of them that are coming on that I'm really excited about, just because they both have, a lot to do in the community, and a lot of people love them and appreciate them. And then, there's, probably another 5 or 6 companies I'm talking to that are they'll get on board soon enough.
Yeah.
So sponsorship is going to be a big side of the account to where I can do a
Okay.
lot more in the community. I've I did the first red carpet event in downtown Gilbert history back in 2018. Like,
Dope.
so I thought that was pretty cool back then because I had no clue about running a fashion show.
Yeah.
And I did it. So I just knew I needed to do something. I was like, oh,
That's
this will work.
sick.
Yeah. People
What
think
location?
it was actually up in Art Intersect up
Okay.
above Romeo's and
Okay.
right there you got um, pretty much there's like a photography studio now, and then
Okay.
there's
Okay.
banners up there, and
Okay.
so the Art Intersect is still there, but it used to be the whole top, and so we took over the whole top of the floor, and I
That's
remember we
sick.
had like 90 people show up and sit in the crowd, and
Nice.
a bunch of models, a bunch of photographers, a bunch of people that helped out and made it work. And I
That's
remember
cool.
just so first experience kind of putting an event like that together by myself. It was kind of weird. I
Hmm.
remember some people were kind of confused on what I was doing, but then everybody that was there was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." So,
Yeah.
it's been a long time coming to do something else, outside of just, content and
Hmm.
kind of bringing people together. Like I want to do concerts under the water tower, but I want to do like,
That'd be sick.
yeah, I want to do like
Okay.
people that everybody knows, and I want to scale it up. So gonna have to get with Parks and Recs and talk to them, and see how to make that happen. But I want to do block parties. I want to shut down the street, or go, not really the street because I don't want everybody to get mad at me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of traffic. It's
Yeah.
already
Of
bad
course.
enough.
It is.
But I'm gonna do big things, and I want to bring on sponsors to support it, and just really kind of take it to another level because I hear a lot of people kind of telling me that they think I'm doing it big, and I'm like,
Not even close.
oh, this is just fun.
Yeah.
Like we're just getting started. So
That's what's
it's
up.
gonna be cool, man.
That's
Super
cool.
excited.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I feel like it's hard because you do what you do, but it doesn't always equate to income, right?
Yeah.
Like this show, there's nothing here. Like
Yep.
I sorry, y'all. I break it to you. I have nothing to sell you. We have no merch. Like if you want to subscribe, like, comment, and share, I appreciate you. Outside of that, like I'm doing this because of Liftoff Agent and the marketing company on that side that helps pay for this.
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes to do something you love and then like how do you monetize it? How do you
Yeah.
make money from it? So it sounds like the sponsorships will help you get more opportunities to do things to reinvest into what you're currently doing.
Yeah. And I did, everything for free for years.
Yeah.
And you know, now it's to a point where the past couple of years I have been able to monetize on it.
Nice, nice.
Whether it was just, credibility
Mm-hmm.
for being able to manage and create a platform that has had,
Yeah.
the little success that it has had, and not to underplay it, but I mean, I just
Yeah.
know that the capability of it and where it's headed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I've been able to use that account as like an example of, well, I can build a community,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's for a business, because I do have clients where I manage their social platforms, and,
Okay. Okay.
help them grow, help them get seen, and, just help them get established on, social media.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and not only that, but, I've, you know, received from locations in downtown Gilbert, whether at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning it was just food,
Okay.
which I was hungry and I needed it. So, so like,
Always good.
yeah, but to be compensated after, years of work has been nice. And,
I love
it's
that.
kind of, yeah, I've built a whole company around downtown Gilbert now, but it's time to kind of expand because,
Yeah.
my platform that I really need to kind of start putting more attention into and plan to, and kind of, I'm in the stage of kind of about to lift off with it.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go.
No, but it's downtown Arizona.
Okay.
So it's going to be more of downtown, um, like a more downtown energy, everything
Okay.
Arizona.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's not going to, I don't want to get pigeonholed and kind of get stuck in,
Yeah.
one area or
Like
do,
just Gilbert. Now you can be
yeah, yeah.
anywhere.
So it'll be fun, and it'll be cool because I'm already kind of leaning into it a little bit. So downtown Arizona will be something that'll kind of it'll be the Big Brother page, down
Ooh,
the road.
I like that.
Um,
I like that. Because you could have
yes.
like Chandler, and then you could have like Mesa, or you can have different downtowns
Oh,
that you could
I go everywhere.
anywhere.
I'll go to. I mean, I communicate with other, large platforms, and whether it's Prescott or
Yeah.
Flagstaff or
Okay.
Tucson, so it'll be able to go everywhere.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
and
love that.
there's a lot of excitement around that because I see people's, I see them perk up whenever I start talking about it. If it's a business meeting or something, because then they're like, oh well, that could make sense for us because we're not in Gilbert,
Yep.
So gonna lean into that, and a lot of things in the works with that. So super excited about downtown Arizona.
I love that. I love that.
This is a downtown Arizona T-shirt.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's sick. And then
yeah.
you could change.
Right across the back.
Oh, down. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I love that. And
So,
then did Gilbert ever reach out to you? Like because what you were doing with the page, did like I don't mayor or I don't know, any officials reach out to you and say like,
so that was fun to kind of go about and maneuver because I remember thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble because I was just so used to getting in trouble for everything at the time. So like, I was like, there's some way
just
that I'm
going
doing,
there?
yeah, I'm doing something wrong. I just,
Yeah, yeah.
I had that head on a swivel, look over your back all the time
Okay,
mentality
okay.
at the time. So I was just worried that that I was going to get in trouble, but that's what happens whenever you're in as much trouble as I was getting out of at the time.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all good.
so, uh, I luckily, not to keep tying it back to Romeo's, I mean, but that's where it all started. I had the Gilbert Your Town government team would come in there for lunch all the time.
Ah.
Yeah. So I had, over the years, just, a kid that knew how to, charm people and connect with people and talk to people.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if I didn't know how to speak,
Mm-hmm. It's
because
all good.
still rough around the edges back then. And so, I would, have them come in, and they would come in and I'd just be watching. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's like, the mayor, I've waited on her for years. Cause at the time it was Jen Daniels.
Yeah, yeah.
And previously it was Mayor Lewis, and I had met him when I was
Mm.
working at a salon, like a wellness center
Okay.
that had been over at Western Skies Ranch. So I got to meet him there and just kind of build a relationship with him. Always, flagging him down every time I see him. And
Yep, yep.
then Jen Daniels was coming in with the city management team and
Nice.
the economical managers and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I got up to courage one day and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ask,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say people's name, but Dan, he
Yeah, yeah.
was right there at the table with one of his colleagues, and I just went up and I said, hey, so real quick, wanted to ask you a question. And I was like, so I pulled my phone out and I showed him. I was like, downtown Gilbert AZ. I was like, I just wanted to see if I'm doing anything wrong. Like, is this okay? And he just kind of looked at it, and he looked up at me and he's like, oh, that's you. And I was like,
Oh.
like they already knew it. I was like, because obviously they're if you know anything about Gilbert, they're watching everything all the time, and yeah, and so I appreciate that about them to a certain extent. But so he's just kind of started like looking at it, and he's just like, no, 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 there's nothing that says that you're official government. And he's like, no, I think you're good to go. And that's coming
Let's
from the
go.
economical manager who is always in there with the city manager at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
The previous city manager, anyways. And so he's like, yeah, go ahead. And I was just like, okay. He's like, hold up real quick. And he wrote down his phone number and his email, and he gave it to me. And he's like, if anybody ever, you know, gives you a problem,
Mm.
you just tell them that I said it's okay. And you give me a call if you need it.
Let's go.
And yeah, so I
That's
was just like,
sick.
I went from like this, like, oh man, I don't know if people will appreciate it if they find out it's me, because, I'd been a very confident kid growing up, but whenever you go through some of the struggles that I was putting myself through, self-inflicted, you tend to question yourself. So
Yeah.
it was the kind of like the lift
Almost
off
it's like
that I needed.
the school of hard knocks,
Yeah,
man.
dude, straight up.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I had a new confidence at that point because I was like, all right, cool, like I
Yeah.
could do what I want. He said, if anybody mess with me,
I got the number.
yeah.
It's
So
good. But
yeah,
no, it's interesting because like you go from kind of like, yeah, whatever, right? We all have our time, knucklehead kids, doing our thing. And then like you're like now representing like the city and you're not like a government official. You know what I'm saying?
no,
You're like just promoting the city that you love.
yeah,
And that's super cool that he's just like, yeah, you're good. Like, and that's where I sometimes like to be out of like, I don't like, You know, people are like, oh, why don't you get your real estate license? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I've done the fix and flip. I got Airbnb. I serve agents. I don't want to be licensed. I don't want the
Yeah.
red tape. I don't want to deal with do's and don'ts. And there's so many other rules.
Yeah.
As soon as you get involved and get deep into government or politics or whatever and have an official license, so I like to just like, I'm behind the scenes. I'm
Yeah.
just a middleman.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't blame you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I've stayed away from it as much as people think that I'm a
Mm-hmm.
part of it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I get messages like, "Hey, downtown Gilbert, can we do a car show behind oregano's?"
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know. you know,
That's not my thing.
reach out to Gilbert Your Town and ask them, you know, who you got to go talk to.
But
Uh,
that's interesting that they
yeah.
hit you up like that, though.
Oh man, you should see. I get people complaining to me, blaming me for this, blaming me for that, and you know, I'm the reason that the water prices are spiking. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
okay, like,
Yeah, we had all deal with all that. It was just all they did was update their systems, and it
yeah.
went from like automated to like the new system, and it didn't transfer over the automation.
hmm
And then it was like 3 months later, I got the bill. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why is it like $700 or something crazy?"
Yeah.
And it was like, "It's water." You know what I'm saying? It's like, "Do I got a leak? I got to call like my people that does like the lawn care or some shit." Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's interesting that you get all those type of. I wonder if you could pass through to Gilbert, like, or if that
Um,
might be too much.
I'd rather stay out.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
I'd rather just kind of do my own thing
Okay.
and kind of I just tell them I'm like, hey, you know, like hit up the government team.
Yeah.
Go on the website, you
We're
know.
just your go-to promotional
Yeah,
fun
we just
activity.
lifestyle, you know, we created a culture,
Yeah.
you know, so which is, you know, an interesting thing to say because we
hmm
did, you know, in a sense kind of create a culture because I remember at the beginning people kept telling me that, you know, like you're creating a culture down here and I was like, well, it felt kind of stupid to hear just because I'm like all
The
these
fuck?
restaurants and all these people and all this, you know, all this
Yeah,
big
yeah.
money that's coming in, they're kind of creating the culture, you know, and it took me a while to realize that, like, you know, the whole lifestyle we were building of, you know, running around with a bunch of photographers, a bunch of friends, a bunch of
hmm
drones, and, you know, just kind of get it causing commotion and getting all the Facebook groups aggravated and
Yep.
loving it, you know, because everybody's like, oh, they're complaining about you on this Facebook group again, or they're asking who you are and what you think you're doing. And I'm like, good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's do more.
Positive or negative, if people are talking,
yeah.
that's where it's at. And that's where sometimes you kind of like, when it comes to politics and you're not in it, but it's Gilbert. So then it's like you kind of get a little bit of that backlash, I could tell.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be neutral.
hmm
Everyone has opinions. So
Yeah.
it's like, whatever, good or bad, they're talking about you.
Yeah. 100%. Publicity is publicity. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
100%. I
As
love
long as I'm
that.
not doing anything stupid. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
of
That's
course.
if we're just having fun and we're doing what we do, you know, obviously the page has come a long way. I'd like to think that the page has grown up a lot.
Yeah.
Because you know I'm going a different direction. You know it's not so much just trying to look cool or act cool or
Yeah.
pretend to be cool.
Yeah.
It's grown up,
That's cool.
and so
I love that.
you know and right now it's just barely catching its stride. So I'm excited to kind of see where it leads, especially going forward with you know the people that are showing interest.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's interesting because like I wonder, you never know. I mean, it's one of those things that y'all just start and you never know where it's going to go and how you can monetize and how you can then partner and sponsors and all the things. And you've been sending me stuff and I've been looking and I mean, dude, it's like I just got to freaking start jumping on the bandwagon, bro. I was like looking at your stuff. I'm like, dude, there's all these like events because you went to the Waste Management Open, and then there's various different events that you're doing, and the rodeo and all this stuff. I'm just like, holy cow! So like, do you do like if someone was to follow the channel, do you do like kind of like here's what's coming like on stories? So if
I'm
someone wants to like go to an event or whatever else,
So, you know, that's something that I should lean into,
okay,
just because I do have a lot of friends that are like, "Yo, hit me up, let me know what's up next," you
right?
know. And so,
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like,
and
hey,
that's where
dude, like,
downtown Arizona is going to kind of lean into that kind of stuff.
okay,
And you know, with things like the Open, that one, you know,
yeah,
was cool because my girlfriend actually was the DJ at the Greenskeeper for like
yeah, yeah,
one of the sessions, and
that's
so
dope.
you know, she's pretty awesome. She does a lot, you know. So I kind of, you know, there's things where we kind of help each other and kind
Mm-hmm.
of leaning into it with each other and kind of, you know, having a partner that's got your back and you got her back. And so that one
Huge.
was a fun one though. But you know, we're gonna kind of keep go in that direction because we partner
Mm-hmm.
on things
Mm-hmm.
where because she does music and DJs
Yep.
and then I do the video and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
I love that.
So
I love that. Yeah, we're going through, and all these links will be down below. I like to make this also like more of like, it's an experience, right? So that's
mhm.
why I kind of go through the Instagram a little bit. I'm gonna give you a follow on the downtown Gilbert, Arizona, because I haven't followed that one just yet. And it reminds me too of like the logo, like State 48. They do a lot for our community out here,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
have all the wear. So there's a
yeah.
lot of great wear there. And then I see that, I see the digital creator. So doing the Royal Pro management. Got to check all these links out down below.
Yeah, and so that one's mainly like my video production
Okay.
side of things.
I love it. I love it.
And social media management clients kind of come through there and,
Okay.
link up with them through that. Um,
I love
you know,
seeing the agents.
yeah,
Couple,
yeah.
couple agents out here. I saw that video and
Well, the one was a foodie, and the other one was an agent. That's why I kind of had fun with that. And
yeah,
at the last minute, it was kind of like, hey, let's act like you're walking and talking about a location, and then she's gonna be like, girl, we're here for food.
I love
So
that.
that was kind of at the last minute, and I was like, is that stupid? And then my
12,
girlfriend was there,
12,
and they were there, and they were
13,000
like, no,
views.
let's do it. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
And when you do random stuff like that off the cuff, it really does really well,
Hmm.
which is nice.
Yeah,
But no, it's cool because now going to the downtown Gilbert, Arizona, you can see also what's going on as it's like a hub, and then it makes a lot of sense. Like, oh, here's the media management company behind what is doing everything for
yeah,
the Gilbert page.
yeah,
It's like, okay, got it, and then with your girl being a DJ, that's fitting
yeah.
for any type of events and stuff that's going on. And I wonder, are you guys going to get, and maybe I'm speaking too soon here, Gilbert's going through a big change,
Hmm.
right? A whole freaking awesome new section of Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Is there going to be, I don't know what you can or cannot say, but is there going to be any like big grand opening party, something that maybe you'll be behind
There's things in the
in
works.
the works?
There's a lot of new companies coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
it's exciting for me because I've been having conversations with a lot of these companies.
I love that.
So it's at a point where I believe in kind of holding it in until it happens.
Of course.
But with that being said, there are conversations happening. There are people that are coming to the area, whether it's smaller or big businesses from out of state
Mm-hmm.
that are paying attention and looking at like searching
Yeah.
obviously the
Yeah.
online and trying to see what's what, and they
Mm.
come across my page because obviously it pops up at the beginning if anytime you search anything Gilbert. If you type in
Mm-hmm.
Heritage District, my page. If you type in downtown Gilbert, my page. Along with obviously all the other Discover Gilbert and Gilbert Your Town,
Yeah. Yeah.
the bigger platforms and the government team.
Mm-hmm.
um so the nice thing is the page has been recognized finally by Instagram as a landmark page. So I
Let's
got
go.
yeah, dude. I was trying to buy the tag just to get security, like give me
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
blue
Yeah.
check mark just so I can protect it. And they were
Yeah.
like, well, show us an ID with your name being Downtown Gilbert. And I was like, like I know I've seen other people do it. Why am I getting so much hassle for this?
Yeah.
And then just one day I looked at it and it was like Instagram gave you the blue check mark, and I was like, oh, cool.
You don't have to pay monthly.
Yeah, I didn't have to pay. I was like,
Yeah.
perfect. I was gonna
Once,
take my $15, but better that way.
yeah. Once
So,
I came out, I'm like, I'm good.
yeah, yeah.
I don't need to pay $15 a month just to be like blue check mark.
No,
Like,
exactly. And the only reason I was thinking is because I was getting so many people trying to hack into the account, and it gives you
oh,
that added security.
that's true.
There's a two authentication kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
if someone's trying to get into it, it's like
Yeah.
come back on and give us the code,
Okay.
and now you can access the account. So it's just added protection because I've
Mm.
made fun of people. I'm like, oh yeah, you got a blue check mark with your 300 followers. Cool. Like. So I'm with you on that. If you look at my personal account, no blue check mark.
Yeah, yeah.
Hack that one if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, don't. But like, if you do, it's like, okay, whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It
So
is what it is. I love that, man. No, it's super cool how y'all tying all this together. And I can see too, like companies being like, all right, like Patrick's the guy, hit him up, and with the Gilbert page and everything else. I can also even see like, paid like almost like they pay you to do the actual video work, and then they also pay for to segment
and
on the
that's the way it kind of works.
yeah, right. Because
So
like 20,000, you're gonna get guaranteed how many views. You're gonna
yeah,
get spotlight, blah blah. You want to be pinned at the top. It's gonna be this much. Be pinned for this
100%.
much time.
Yeah, dude, you're like reading one of my proposals. It sounds like. So
What I do for a living.
yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of consulting.
Yep. I've yeah, that's exactly how it is. It's like 2 week period of being pinned, 1 month period of being pinned, and
I
the,
love
the
that.
cool thing about it is there's about just under 20,200 followers.
Okay.
But it gets a lot more views and attention than that, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if the amount of people that are like, oh dude, like I seen you on the Downtown Gilbert page, and I'm like, oh, like that's awesome. You follow it? No, man. And I'm like, okay, but hey, just keep checking it out at least,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of people that tell me that they keep up on it but haven't hit follow, or then I'm very good about being like, pull out your phone, follow it right now.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
like that way you
Hello.
can keep up with everything, but from watching the analytics, it's the reach is far greater than 20,000 people.
Oh my
And
God. Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting because, a lot of things I do on there. I mean, I'll have friends from Phoenix and Scottsdale sending it to me and like, yo, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, like, what's up? And they're like, bro, it's just all on my For You page. So I know not everything, but,
That's what's
it,
up.
it does make its
Yeah.
rounds, so, the goal is to get much more active. And with all the sponsorship that's going to start coming in, and there's going to be, I'm going to find a way to make sure it's not salesy, it's not
Mm-hmm.
boring. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm getting sold something whenever I'm looking at a page I like. So it's like,
Exactly.
it's gonna be fun, like, hey, let's create a new series,
Yeah.
kind of like we experimented with fries.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, that
fun.
was cool. The fries thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a fun little venture to see how it looked, and who knows, maybe it comes back and we do it again. It was
Mm-hmm.
more of an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I mean, I'm still having people like, yo, when's the next Downtown Gilbert bag drop? And I'm like, I don't know, ask fries.
Right? It's like,
Yeah,
we did it, and then it's just like, and that's a hard thing too. It's almost like, well, I guess you have to just, and there's only so many stores, so then a mom and pop spot, it
yeah,
just
yeah.
depends. Because like, I can imagine, there's things behind the scenes that has to happen, right? It's not
Yeah.
your store.
No, no, and everybody wants to make sure that their their money's going to something, and I get
Yeah.
that. So it's and I've been in talks with their creative agency and stuff. So
Okay.
there's potential for the future with them, and it could be exciting,
Yeah.
and just to bring all these big companies together. Like I said, I mean, couple of the other people I'm talking to are pretty big,
Yeah.
so like it's gonna be like fun, and which
That's
will mean I
sick.
have to do a lot more in the community, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fill it up with sponsorship posts.
Mm-mm.
If for every one sponsorship post, I'm gonna have to go out and do a crew shot at,
Yeah.
you know, wherever, and
Mm-hmm.
start kind of getting the community involved again, because I've been very like
Mm.
managing, posting, and kind of like
Yeah.
strategically kind of taking a step back, and working on things behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
just so that that it can get to the level where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And just kind of it, the more I win at what I'm trying to achieve, the
Mm-hmm.
more the community is going to win at what I'm trying to do.
100%. I
So
mean, and there's so many different ways that you could take it to, like kind of getting into a mastermind session live here in Liftoff Experience. Like, say, as an example, everything from stores, restaurants given some type of like incentive discount because it's like, hey, all right, we're partnering with so and so, go in, have food, and tag it with the stories, and then we're gonna pick someone to get a free dinner at that spot.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
auto dealers, credit unions.
dude, all day
So
long,
it's
right?
yeah,
Get a free account or account with $100. Or
yeah,
one thing that I'm doing right now is I'm going out and doing street interviews.
yeah, yeah. I've been watching them.
All right, I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
yeah, yeah,
Appreciate you. So I
yeah,
was like, I don't want to be like, oh, we're real estate marketing, come use us. So I'm
yeah,
like, dude, all right, what does the general public want to see from agents?
yeah.
And so Fashion Square went out and did that. So I could even see you doing street interviews just with the town in Gilbert.
I
You
mean,
go
I've done a
out.
couple of them on
You
there.
did
If you
already?
look at it,
Okay.
and it's something that I've thought about leaning into again. Because I've mainly gone out on like it's been a little while since I did one,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would go out on the weekend and just find out where people were going that night, where they came from. you know,
We see you, Jordan.
yeah.
She's so bored. My daughter's at the door because the wife said, you didn't turn off a light, didn't make the bed, so she got the tablet taken away.
Uh
Now she is bored as all hell.
oh. Hey, your prefrontal cortex is glad that it's taking a break.
Exactly. No more brain rot.
Yeah, straight up.
But no, that's that's cool. Like it's just little things like that because then you can hear what people think about the community and what is there to do. And like for us, because we have at this house we have 3 Airbnbs. We have a travel trailer. We did a Zen den upstairs, and then we have a room upstairs as well. And so what we did is we did like a guidebook. And it's like, here's your Gilbert and surrounding areas guidebook. And then you'd go out and here's a restaurant, here's a park or whatever.
Yeah.
But also I like your page because I could direct them to your page and be like, oh, also here's some things to look at, some places to go to
Yeah.
in Gilbert, activities, whatever the case may be. So I mean, you have endless.
I probably get 20 tags a day from real estate agents through the valley.
Do you really?
Oh gosh, every single time, not every single time, but a lot of times. I mean, daily I get, located 5 minutes from at downtown Gilbert AZ, 10 minutes from at downtown. Like they use the page as an example of like,
Ah,
like the home that you're gonna buy. This is the lifestyle you can live, and this is your neighborhood now. Yes, I
interesting.
see that all day long in people's captions.
I
And
love it.
yeah, I mean the amount of tags alone. Like, I mean, if you've gone on and really like dug into the page, you'll see that it gets a lot of attention from the tag side of the photos, which is
Yeah.
a whole nother like, that's everybody that just photographers and models and restaurants and
Mm-hmm.
cool boys and cool girls and
Yep.
everybody just wanting to tag where they're at. And so like
Yeah.
it's like that's why I draw attention to the tagged photos on the bio, because like the
I
tagged
like
photos are a
that.
whole nother beast in itself.
Okay. Okay.
So it is definitely a lifestyle page, and I could do a better job
Mm-hmm.
at kind of getting it more on board, and that's kind of the direction it's going to be headed.
Yeah.
Just especially with being able to work with some of the people I'm going to start working with, to
I
kind
love
of
that.
like do more in the community and have them be a part of it. So
I love
super
that.
excited about that, and just yeah, man. So it's really going to be, yeah, it's going to be much bigger than it is right now. So
Dude, that's awesome, man. I absolutely love that. And it's what we talk to a lot of these agents with. It's like it's less about the home, definitely not about you, but it's about the area. It's about the
yeah, yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah,
It's like what are you doing with the place that you buy? Like you want to be next to a golf course, you want to be close to the freeway, how far do you want to be from public transit? So we always tell these agents like, hey, like be a community resource, an expert. Like that's where the whole evergreen thing comes in. And then like that whole passive prospecting, it's like that parasocial relationship thing. It's like, oh, like now people are like, oh, Patrick, like you're a celebrity. I don't know you, but like you're like a celebrity. And he's like, no, I'm not. But people look at you from that perspective. If they follow you on this page, it has the cloud, it has the views. There's like a different level of awareness for you, because of it. And
yeah,
so that's why I tell these agents, like, dude, you could like literally stop buying leads and making cold calls and doing all this stuff and bend over backwards, just like be an expert, be a
yeah,
resource
yeah,
in your community. And
100%.
and that's when I saw you. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I was like, follow, and then we've been going back and forth, and I was like, I want to get you on because
Yeah,
it's
man.
so cool how like you're not even in the industry, and this is even like that type of podcast. We're not even on real estate versus technology, which technically that's an hour long. Um, but it's cool that you're doing that,
Yeah,
and it's cool that it's turning into so much more. And I'm excited to see how it all changes. And that's why I thought like it'd be cool to get you on the show and like it's open up the hood, get behind the scenes, see what you're doing.
yeah.
Because like for you, is this like because this is straight entrepreneurship? Do you have anyone in your family that are entrepreneurs or anyone that's doing
I mean,
stuff like this
we
already?
we I come from a very creative family.
That's cool. All right.
My mom's an artist.
Oh, nice.
My little sister, she has little ventures that she's working on that,
Really?
and yeah, and she,
That's sick.
so she does stuff. My brother, he's my brother, he cuz so I have another brother as
Okay.
well,
Okay.
from earlier what we spoke on. He's successful and works hard, and he's always been the book smart one, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was the one that was like, well, I'm gonna go
Street
learn the
smarts.
hard way,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So like my dad, he artistic in his own way if it came to painting homes and stuff,
Okay.
so
Okay.
creative family,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so but I quit my job almost 2 years ago and just went full in on this.
Let's go.
So
Talk about liftoff, bro.
yeah,
That's what's
yeah,
up.
yeah. So that adds some fire, and definitely, you hear burn the ships. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I was super passionate. I was like, I'm going to burn the ships. And then, you get the people asking like, well, are you sure that this is the right time?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I don't do it now, it's never going to happen, and I'm going to get stuck here and
Amen.
doing what I don't want to do, or giving 100 of my hours every 2 weeks to some other company, and it's been exciting. It's been scary. It's been motivating, and it's been worth it.
That's sick,
So
bro.
yeah,
That's sick. Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know until you get to that point where you have to burn the ships. And then
hmm
you're like, shit or get off the pot.
yeah,
It's like you got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
hmm
I was talking to my uncle's in town, and so my wife went on a hike, and he's from California. He's like, yeah, it's an entrepreneur thing. He's like, I don't know if I could do all that, this thing. And one of my friends, he follows you, and I'm not gonna drop any names, but it's like with entrepreneurship, like this guy, like lost 800,000, made 800,000. He's already made over a 500,000 this year
well,
within a month and a half, right? And so, but you have to take big risk in order to get that reward. Like,
yeah,
I'll be in Japan. We leave in like 8 days. I'll be out there for 2 weeks.
awesome.
And thank you. And like we bought the tickets and shit. And we're like, well, I don't want to pay for this, but we just did it,
Yeah.
And like last month was great. The beginning of this month was like kind of slow, and
hmm
then all suddenly it's like when you go into a restaurant or something, like everyone comes at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like what happened to
And
Liftoff.
it's usually after you order your food from the kitchen and you're in the corner eating.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're busy now. Dang it.
Yeah, and so basically, it's just like, all right, cool, everything came in, so it
Yeah.
was it was a blessing. But that's where it's just like it makes life fun.
Yeah.
It make not knowing, it's like whatever.
Yeah. If you try, I mean, things have a way of working themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
There's you know, they say God works in mysterious ways, and even if I'm not quite exactly where I need to be in his, sight, I know that, he sees the progress, and that's not the only way to look at it. Like, oh, that's enough. But like,
Mm,
that's better than being stuck,
yeah.
so
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we had my wife. She was a teacher for 16 years. There, 3 years ago, she quit teaching and she went full time with her tea company. And one of the hardest things from like having a paycheck to not having a paycheck, and then having just unknowns, and you get so caught up in being safe,
hmm
and being safe's great, but it keeps you in this like one lane.
hmm
And then you got politics and the market and interest rates and all this other shit that just brings you down even more.
yeah.
So you're like, you might as well just bet on yourself, trust in God, and just go for it.
Oh, 100%, man. You hear everybody talking about the economy, and I'm like, the economy, my economy's always been a little screwed up, so even if it was good for everybody else, so, people win when other people are scared. So sometimes you just gotta,
Yeah,
go.
I 100%, man. I love that. I love that. So going into, you talked a little bit about your girlfriend. So like, how did y'all meet? And was it in Gilbert? Like, how did all of that come together?
No, we met online,
Really?
yeah, which is perfect because we were able to like interview each other before we even decided to
Right?
meet, which is like, I don't go to clubs, I don't go to parties anymore, like I
Mm-hmm.
gave up all that, and
Yeah.
only reason you're gonna find me in a bar after 6 is because I'm getting paid to film or being paid to be there.
There you go.
So we were able to kind of be like, oh, like we align on this, we align on that, we align on this, like,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it worked out. And she's got a whole story of her own,
Dope.
so we've two different worlds, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
She's a great person.
When you have someone that believes in you, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Someone that trusts you, believe in you, sees your value.
Yeah.
And that's awesome that she does a DJ thing because you guys can co.
Well, she sings too, man. She's
Oh,
got an
really?
amazing voice.
Wow.
Amazing voice. Like
Wow.
she's probably one of the best artists in the valley, if you ask me, and a lot of people.
That's her
So,
profession.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's sick,
So yeah,
dude.
yeah, she can cover just about anything.
Wow.
Yeah, she's super versatile. So
Wow. That's
yeah.
super cool. I mean, yeah, it's like you never know too who you'll meet and the way it works. And I feel like everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen. And you
hmm
just gotta stop resisting. Some people do that shit and it's like, don't resist, just go.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
Not a big deal, you
No,
know?
100%, man. I mean, being that I hadn't been partying and hadn't been going out and stuff, it was like, I mean, I could spend 3 days in a row at home by myself and be like, oh, shoot, I should probably go out and talk to somebody, because I
Yeah.
just, at the
Do
house,
something.
yeah, just, maniac at the house trying to make something happen,
Yeah.
so, yeah, she gets me out of my box for sure.
That's sick.
So that's good.
That's cool. That's cool. So I don't know. Someone's out there, they're like, hey, I'm interested in doing something in my town, something similar. They're getting inspired now.
Hmm.
You know, how do you self motivate? Like, how do you like come up with ideas? Like, what is like fire? What like builds like you put like logs in the fire and it makes it bigger, and then you have other ideas. Like, what helps you in that process of like thinking about what's next and what keeps you going?
Um, just kind of, I guess you got to just think about what, find an area that you want to be a part of,
Mm-hmm.
or something
Mm-hmm.
that you love and care about.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and just then from there, I would say just, do some research and find other people that are doing what you want to do. And, I wouldn't say like, copy them, but like maybe just
Yeah.
kind of, okay, cool. Like, take some notes.
Yeah.
And just, like, say, okay, I live here and I want to, you know, s- I've looked at his page and I think it's cool and I want to do something like that. Well,
Mm.
just I guess start off, go find out what's available,
Mm. I love
because
that.
I was like downtown Gilbert, taken, one post 10 years ago,
Oh my
no
god.
likes, wasted. I was
Ah,
like, hmm, okay, cool. I'll just add an AZ. Oh, available. Cool. Whole city state name. Perfect. You know?
done.
Yeah. So, just kind of, like there's ways of going and doing your research. Don't be lazy.
I love that.
And have fun with it though. But like I would just say, find something that you love, because I'm still figuring it out. So I don't want to feel like I'm having imposter syndrome here. But like at the same time, just try. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying earlier, you just got to do it. And I'm at a point in my life where it's like, it's time to just, not just do it, but level it up, and experiment, fail your way forward. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
I love that, because it's been the story of my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've had big opportunities come into my life and I've wasted them or I've failed at them or, I just didn't see what was in front of me at the time and something I should have capitalized on. Cause I mean, the
Mm.
whole music thing, if I would have done that and leaned into that, like people were telling me to, but I just,
Mm.
MySpace will be here forever. It was like,
Mm.
that was the drop ball. People were telling me to take it to Facebook, and I was like, I looked at Facebook, and I was like, wait, I can't customize my page and put up pictures of this and
Mm.
that. I was like, this is boring. No, thank you. And
Dang.
so but at the same time, like I'm so thankful because I was already in a position where I was in a lifestyle of because back then I was still partying, I was still drinking, I was
Yeah.
still getting rowdy in a
Yeah.
lot of different ways than just alcohol. But I was dealing with these big underground mainstream just big
Mm.
bands and just kind of getting into a lifestyle that I didn't want to get into. So in a sense, not keeping up with the times I believe saved my life, because
Wow.
I was headed down a road where I would have got tangled up with an industry I don't want to be a part of.
Silver lining, man.
100%.
That's freaking amazing. It reminds me. So when I first got started, I was doing fuck man. So it used to be before Mr. Liftoff, it used to be Storm and Norman Entertainment 69. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go there on a
You're like
fucking
16, 69, buddy.
69. All right, you know where my fucking mind was at. It was
Yeah.
not up here in this head. So yeah, so I used to do so I had Gar Card certified parties and promotions.
Okay.
And then so I would do that shit. And then throughout the week, so one of my time off to try to start and do something
Yeah.
and get a company going. And I was like, not focused on the one thing, y'all. Get focused.
Yeah.
I was like parties and promotions, security work, personal assistance. And I was like this Storm and Norman S&E Productions company. And then I'm like on a YouTube channel making fucking food 5 minutes or less in my kitchen. Like just
You're spread thin. Yeah.
spread weight then.
Yeah.
And I remember I had one of those come to Jesus. I literally hit hard. I like when you ever had one of those moments you hit hard and you're just like, it was like probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. I was just in bed. I
Hmm.
just could
Oh
not.
yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
Mentally over the fucking moon. I couldn't see things straight, couldn't nothing. And I remember I got real heavy into because I used to, don't do this, enjoy your birthdays. I would get the party buses on my birthday
Hmm.
and I would have like 27 people come to the house. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do bottle service. I'm gonna have the party bus. We're gonna start the house. It's gonna be dope. All this type of stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
spend our rent. You know.
yeah. And I had some good success from it,
Yeah.
but then I got too deep, and in that industry, I mean, there is just it's dark.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's dark, and
Yeah.
the alcohol and cocaine and this and
Yeah.
that. And then I started getting some notoriety from some of the club owners and shit. And then the people that I was starting to mess with was like, whoa.
Hmm.
This is my shit. I'm the promoter here. I'm this, I'm that. I'm just like, so I remember as soon as I hit rock bottom, I was just like, nope. Went into Facebook and I stopped following and I just blocked every single tie to that whole world.
Yeah.
And thank God I did
Yep.
because and then I was never I smoked weed, I dabbled, I did stuff, but I never really got deep into anything. And alcohol, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Never really big for me.
Yeah.
I never really cared too much about it, or never really got like to the point where I was like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna do it all the time.
Luckily,
Luckily,
because when it grabs a hold of people, it does.
it
And yeah.
does. Yeah, I was more of the stoner,
Yeah.
and then I was pretty good about it though. Like throughout the days, I wouldn't really smoke, just in the evenings, stuff
Hmm.
like that. But I was slanging it, I was selling it,
Oh
I was
yeah.
doing all
Same.
that shit, dude. You know, I
Yeah.
was just like whatever I had to do to like have my days free. I'm like slanging shit on Craigslist, smoking freaking weed, selling
Yeah.
weed, doing
Yeah.
the nightclub security stuff. But I learned real quick I had to get focused.
Yeah.
As soon as I got focused on the one thing, and then I got rid of that parties and promotion and all that crap, it really put me on a different path, which so grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no fucking roadmap.
No.
None. You're just like, all right, I'm trying this. Nope. I'm trying that. Kinda.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so interesting. But I will say that I wouldn't take anything back because it showed me so much. I mean, it is what it is. You see these kids now, they're like in their 20s, 23, they're multimillionaires, day
Yeah.
trading and doing all this
Bought a
crazy
Bitcoin and
bought a Bitcoin.
yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like that's why I'm going. One reason I'm going to Japan too. I'm about to be 40,
Yeah.
right? And
Nice.
so that's where it's just like it's cool, like because you learn things, y'all, like from the like 20s to 30s, and getting to your 40s. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
total different perspective of life.
I mean, I just turned 39 in December, so I'll be
There,
40
hey,
this year.
there,
December,
let's
so
go.
yeah,
We're
man.
the same age, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah. What's your birthday?
March 14th.
Okay, yeah.
What's you?
So December 28th.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, I mean that's to not to change the subject, but actually stay on subject. Have you ever read Think and Grow Rich?
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
You
Napoleon Hill, baby.
yeah, bro, I love it. I've read it twice and
Okay.
I've skimmed through it 30, 40
Whatever the
times
mind
probably.
can conceive, believe, and feel, it can achieve.
100%, man. But it talks about, most major success and, men in history has come at that 40-year mark.
Yeah.
And how, it's the sex drive that goes towards success drive.
Yes.
And, because sex is an emotion versus, just an action.
Mm-hmm.
And how you're able to kind of cultivate that and use that because that strong desire or
Yeah.
want, to do something and be
Mm-hmm.
successful. So that's actually my favorite part of the book because I remember the first time I read it, I was like, oh, dang, like I'm ahead of the curve. I'm reading this and I understand it and I love it. And, then I read it again and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm 5 years away from there, and then, I go back to that area of the book and, I'm like, okay, 2 years. Okay, 1 year, like 40's almost here, like, let's go, like I'm just setting the groundwork, so.
Oh my God. And I saw another post too. They said for individuals in business, 45 is like the year where there's like that pinnacle.
Mhm.
And so right on, right? 40 to
Yeah,
45.
yeah, it makes sense.
Makes sense. And the thing is too, and if you're out there and you're watching this and you are younger in your 20s, it's like harness that sex energy, man. Because honestly, if you can harness that shit, either you find a real one, right? Do your business, or just harness that shit and just go all in on business. And that's where I feel like, because it talked about in the book,
Yeah.
it's like you're getting too fragmented on all these women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. I was a whore, dude. I was all over the place in my 20s. And I'm glad that I did because I got it out of my system.
Yeah.
But it really kind of fragmented me a little bit. But I normally told them, I was like, hey, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm growing this business. This is what I want to do. I'm not interested in anything crazy.
No, I get it.
They mainly respected it. And it was not until like 30, 31 is when I really was like, all right, maybe I want to slow down, like have a family. And plus, doing real estate marketing, everyone had kids and families and shit. So I was like, probably in the natural progression. And then I met my wife on too.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. DMs. And it wasn't even her. It was like she paid for some service, and like I got like a comment on my post, and I was like, oh shit. She's pretty bad. I went to her page, checked her out.
Yeah.
And then it was just like I messaged her and shit. Who the hell? Like, because like she didn't message me. It was just some stupid bot that she was paying for. And then then we went back and forth.
Yeah.
And then finally we met, and then she put me in the friend zone. She's like, nah, you're too
Yeah.
young. You're
Oh
too
no.
short. I was like, damn, like that, like because she's older, and I usually always go younger.
Yeah.
And then it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah.
She's like, I want this, this, this. I'm like, all right, done.
Cool.
Got her pregnant in 4 months.
There you go. You ain't going nowhere.
Lockdown.
Yeah. No, that's funny, but yeah.
Proposed in 6 and
Yeah.
married within the year. We all that shit. And then I was like, hey, like I'm tired of this San Francisco or like the Bay Area. Like, dude, I'm not gonna get a vaccinated card bullshit to go to a
Yeah, no, thank
restaurant.
you.
So I said, here's Zillow. Check out what we can buy out there. And she's
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's where you're from,
I'm from
or
the Bay.
okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
San
I'm born and
Francisco.
raised here, so
Really?
yeah. So back to the music thing. I was doing concerts. There's Bay Area rappers like Andre Nicotina. Was like one of them that I was doing a
Yep.
lot with. So I mean,
Very familiar.
you talked about the AO a little bit. So
Yep.
like
E40,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sally Cell,
Yep. Yep.
Mac Dre,
Mm-hmm.
all of them, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah, area.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, I have a lot of friends from the area too. So
Okay,
I used to run around out there, like in different parts.
that's what's up.
Whenever I could get away from the court system or find a couple bucks to get out of town, I'd jump in a car and take
20 years back, it was different. When I
yeah.
first moved here, I was like, dude, I feel like Arizona was like California 20 years ago. When I
Like
first moved
now
in
it is.
2020, yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I first moved, I just felt like it was more loose and just relaxed and chill in the
Yeah.
car scene. And, I like to modify so they weren't like hella strict about
Yeah.
exhaust and lights and tints and stuff like that. So I was like, damn, like this is cool. Take me back.
Dude, I am the most passionate Arizonian.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
Like I
I do
love
too.
Arizona. I could see myself having, if the opportunities present themselves, homes other places, but
Mm-hmm.
my main home will always be here, just
Yeah.
because I'm, and I like to look at it, as, I grew up in small town Arizona too,
Yeah.
so I spent almost half my life in small town Arizona,
Okay.
mountains and jumping trucks
Mm-hmm.
and shooting guns and spitting
Wild
and
Wild West.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
kissing in the boonies, so
Hell yeah.
and then going from that to running away to the big city thinking the court system will never find me. I was like, I'm gonna go to Mesa. They'll never find me an hour away. They did.
Damn.
Yeah, it wasn't even my fault, but they did.
You know.
I mean, it was my fault, but you know what I mean. I had a lady crash into the back of me going like 80 miles an hour down Country Club, and she just smashed into this van that I got, and I was trying to like rebuild and start like a little like handyman company. It was like
What?
yeah, and I was just like sitting there, and the cops were like, "Yo, hey, like you're good. Everybody, all the witnesses, we're just all glad that you're alive because this your little work van is destroyed, and you like the fact
Wow.
that you got out of the vehicle. Everybody was very surprised, and I was just like, well, because I mean, I it smashed the back, threw me into the front, so I slammed into the car in
Holy
front of me,
shit.
and they're like, you're good, like everybody's good, and then they came back a couple minutes later, and like the cop was like, dude, like I hate to say this, but I gotta arrest you and take you back to Globe. I was like,
What?
oh, it finally caught me. 10 years of being a knucklehead, and it finally caught up. But I'll tell you what, at that time, I remember just like this huge weight just coming off my shoulders, and I was just
Mm.
like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
have to feel like I'm like looking over my shoulder anymore. I feel like I can go get car insurance and they won't find me, like driving this 94 Z28, just
Yep.
huge engine just ripping around town with no insurance because like I didn't want to have my address on anything. But like, it just a long time ago, 20 years ago, so
Yep. Yep.
just it was like one of those moments where it was like, oh my God, like finally cool. Let's just get it over with, so
Yeah.
yeah, man.
That's good though. Sometimes you have to, man. Just like get the karma. All right, done. I served it. It's over. Move on.
Yeah.
It's
Time to grow.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's well, people have to understand too out there, y'all out there, like what you focus on expands,
Hmm.
positive or negative.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the negative side of not being caught,
Yeah.
you're fucking attracting that shit.
Yep.
And that's a crazy thing to think about.
Hmm.
Like it's so interesting what you think about, you bring about.
Yeah. God gave us a powerful mind for a reason.
Very powerful.
You know.
And like what our words, it's like words are like, spells.
Yeah. As a man
Spelling.
thinketh. That's a great book.
Yes.
And for those of you that haven't read it or don't, they're like, that's old person book. I don't know what it is. It's like, no, that book will change your life. I remember there was times whenever I was just like, because like I didn't grow up wanting to read. But
Nope.
COVID, I think I read like 150 books during COVID. Dude, I
Damn.
went hard, and I wasn't like as a man thinking it's a little book, but I was reading. I was like, oh yeah, 48 laws of power, cool. The fatter, the bigger, the better. I'm just tearing books up now, But as a man thinketh, simple, easy little book to read.
Yeah, yeah.
Just talks about the way your thoughts control your life, and how you don't want to suppress these, because a lot of times like, oh, I don't want that to happen. You're suppressing it, and you're taking that negative energy and holding it in, versus it being a weed in your mind, and you pulling that weed out and replacing it with a flower, which a negative thought to a positive thought, it kind of relates them to a weed and a flower. So instead of
Powerful.
bottling it in, you just take that, like, because there's times for me, like where I'm, oh, like, no, that could be, and I'm like, no, cool, like,
Yeah.
no, that's not gonna happen, this
Exactly.
is, and sometimes it's like, okay, cool, it still happened, but I didn't hold that in. I didn't, build on that habit of
Yep.
bottling up and suppressing and
Hmm.
just, whatever it was, and that being said, things that we want to work out sometimes work out in a better way for us. So,
Oh, amen.
you know,
100%. And that's where I feel like I was a knucklehead too. And it was if shit happened in my 20s, I had too much ego.
oh gosh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
hmm
It just straight to your head, look at me. Like, so I'm glad that it took me longer
hmm
because everything with success comes a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I picked up a couple dream cars. So the GTR, I picked it up like almost 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told my wife, I'm like, it's time.
Yeah.
Come on. And then like we had a little argument, whatever else, and then she was finally like, all right.
Yeah.
And now I'm reaching
She had to
like
let her feel the power, right? Yeah.
that, and she had no idea. She like kind of understood, but she didn't really understand.
Yeah.
And then like people are like crashing their car, filming my shit, like just crazy stuff. Like people just like on the freeway, everyone wants to show.
hmm
It's a total. And then she was like, whoa, and then she like, you can't make money off cars. I'm like, I got 50 in equity in that car right now.
hmm
Like, and so now she sees it, she gets it. But it comes a lot with a lot of responsibility. Plus, also like, it's you gone, it's not coming with you. So you got to share it. You got to
Yeah.
share it. You got to let people enjoy it. And so like my Instagram, I only have like 2,000 followers. I'm reaching 350,000 people.
Yeah.
Just because I'm sharing the GTR and
Oh
then
yeah.
people are sharing that and people love cars. And Arizona scene
Yeah.
with cars is dope.
Yeah.
This is like the best community for cars. I love it, dude.
Yeah, and and the weather for a car
It's
owner is perfect.
perfect.
Yeah, you're not having to worry about rust and
Yep.
all that.
Yep.
And going leaning into the thought of like the followers, they don't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
They're there for, simple credibility at the beginning
Yep.
until they get to your clout. Because I know some people that got, 3,000 followers with everything they do is viral.
Yeah.
But then, then you got the people, out there that are they got the 4,000 followers, I got 5,000, 4,000, 2,000. Well, put that many people in a room, I heard someone say that one time, like, put that many people in a room. Tell me if you think that you don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it, not to jump all over the
You're
place, 'cause my
good.
brain goes everywhere.
Yeah.
These are just thoughts I've heard, had, and
Mm-hmm.
read,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so, like I do that sometimes where I'm like, oh man, only 7,000 views.
Mm.
And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, that's like 2,000 more, over 2,000 more people than you can fit in Mesa Amphitheater.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so like whoever it was that I heard talking about that, like I've held on to it. And like I thought that this one would do, the best ever, and it only got 10,000, which is still great,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, in my mind, anything over 5,000 views is a win,
Yeah.
because that's a
Yeah.
lot of people that gave their attention to whatever it was you're doing, whether they watch for 3 seconds or the whole thing,
Yeah. It's
Instagram
good.
will let you know.
Yeah.
So
And even if they don't comment or they don't like
yeah,
and they don't share, like they're watching.
watch time is more important to the
Yeah.
algorithm anyways,
Yeah. And
so
then they come up to you and they say, "Oh, I saw this, I saw that." You're like, okay. Like
yeah.
you didn't like nothing or
Oh,
I didn't
cool.
know. Okay, cool. Like you didn't
Yeah.
say nothing, but I
You're one of those
appreciate.
lurkers, huh?
Yeah, you got those freaking what are they like? Not the bots, but they're like they have like the watchers and like the doers. What are they called? I forgot. It'll come up for me, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're just behind the scenes and they're just sitting there like, what is this person? What is that person doing? It's interesting too, going a little deeper in what you're talking about. Like it's all different. Like who watches your stories, who follows you, like the long form to short, it's all different. So like it's interesting. If I do head talk content, I might get like 2, 3, 400 views, like get nothing. But then if I do like POV in the GTR, then it hits like 200,000.
Yeah.
And then I go on stories and it's like, all right, cool. Like I'm hitting like 100, 150 on stories, but it doesn't all translate. You're like, I'm fucking reaching 350. So it's like, it's so misconstrued, and
Yeah.
each segment is something different. And I feel like the people that really are watching like the stories, like that, those are the people that are really going deep, the story
Yeah.
watchers.
Yeah.
And then especially when like they heart it and shit, you're like, all right, cool, I see you. I see
Yeah.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks for hearting this.
Yeah,
The new
right.
post in the story, but go heart it in
Right?
the actual post, man.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
No.
But you know what's crazy though? Like
Yeah.
when you post on stories and you get the hearts, and then you don't even think about putting it on your wall. When you post that shit on the wall, like I get hella views.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah. Sometimes your story will let you know, like, oh, should this have been like an actual
an
post?
actual post.
Yeah.
And then it
100%.
hits, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, I just got like 500,000.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
That's
Like it's
cool.
so interesting, this whole algorithm and everything else. And what
Yeah.
I've done now is I just like, I don't get, I'm just live my best life.
Yeah, like you can think into it. Like obviously there's some strategy that needs to be taken into consideration, but as long as
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
doing good content and it makes sense and it's relevant to what you're doing, just like post it. And if one of them's doing better, run it as an ad. You have
Yeah.
that one video do your full month's work of posting for you.
Yup.
So they've made it easy for us. Because I mean, I've been like, oh, this is gonna hit. No, well, let me try running it as an ad. Okay, 800 new followers in a couple days, perfect.
Right?
Yeah, my friends didn't like it, but people that didn't know me did. So here we go.
Worked out perfect, bro.
100%. And
Yeah.
that's on the Gilbert page. I don't, not personal,
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, you got to, and that's where I feel like when you have a page out there, y'all, and doing what you're doing, like, kind of know your lane, like, from the perspective of, like, because COVID hit. And so
Yeah.
that's why I kicked off not this podcast, my other one.
Yeah.
And so that one's almost 600 episodes. This one's like 40 something episodes because I was like, well, I can't really go. I used to go into real estate offices and meet agents.
Mm.
And so that shit went away. And so I said, all right, I'll start a podcast. And it's not monetized. It was about to, but then some shit happened. And the team that I hired, they try to pay for some shit. Fake followers. Don't pay for followers.
Yeah.
Don't pay for
We know.
subscribers.
Trust me, we know.
Don't do it. And
Yeah.
it fucks the algorithm. And so long story short, I'm not getting anything as far as monetization off of the other YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But it was just like a month ago.
Yeah.
And Angela come in and I already rescheduled the podcast. And it was like December rescheduled. And it was like midweek on like a Tuesday. And I had like took no fucking day off for like 2 weeks. I'm dying. I'm like, can we reschedule, blah, blah. She's like, if we can't do it now, we're not rescheduling. I'm out front of your house.
Mm.
Oh shit. Okay, this is like military woman. She did 75 deals last year in the real estate side. She's no joke.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. All right, so I go out there. I'm fucking all right. Get some energy here, and then it all worked out great. We had a good conversation, everything else, and then she's like, "Tell me about this Liftoff thing, huh?" And oh, so you guys build websites? I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, well, I was trying to hire this guy over December, blah blah blah." Next thing you know, she was just like, "Yeah, so I want a site."
Nice.
$5,000 site, $200 a month, just like that. And I was
Yeah.
just like, so it wasn't like directly from views or monetization, but it was like indirectly because she wanted a website.
Yeah.
And she signed up yesterday.
Awesome. Hit the clap.
Oh yeah, here, hit the clap. Here, how about one of these? Let's go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my intention to sell her on shit. It's
Yeah.
just, hey, Liftoff agent sponsor, thanks so much, blah, blah. Thanks to
Yeah.
our team, editing behind the scenes. It was natural.
Yeah.
And then it turned into something and we connected really well.
Yeah.
And then I just popped up the vibe board there and showed her some examples and she loved it. And I didn't do any strategy call or nothing. So it's so interesting how it could work out that way where I'm sure you probably picked up media customers because of Go Gilbert, and then they went over to your channel. They saw what you're doing. They're like, "Oh shit, can you?"
Yeah. People want to surround themselves with people that they want to be friends with.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, it was like cutthroat. But nowadays, it's like there's times where I've had clients in the past where I fired a client because like I'm like, yo, like I don't. This is two different directions we're headed in. You know what I mean? And my reputation, your reputation, they if I'm in business with you, you reflect me.
Yep.
And so
Amen.
there's been times where I've had people that were like, hey, I want you to do this and manage my account, and I'm like, no, I don't want to have to talk to you all the time. And that's
Just keeping it real.
That's just real, But then there's I'm sure this has been the same for people that are like, well, we like his work, but we don't want to deal with him. And hey, I get it. We're not for everybody.
No.
So it's like, with that being said, it's like just I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Choose your battles.
yeah, straight up.
But no, it's true because what I've learned too, it's like I'll meet all these different type of agents,
Hmm.
and our goal is just top 1%. So
Hmm.
there's like 1.5 million agents. I just focus in the real estate industry. I want to sell the company is my goal, and if we can focus on the top 1%, either they're there
Yeah,
or they want to get there because it's pretty much transferable. The top 10% does 90% of the business in any industry,
yeah, for
right?
sure,
Right.
definitely.
So in real estate, we'll say it's the top 7%.
Okay.
And so I'll meet these people, and it was like, oh, I felt so bad. But all right, so I have an agent locally, and so him and his wife have a brokerage, and then I'll just give him a shout out, Hannah and Edgar. And so they basically have the real estate office, and they have a smoke shop right next door.
Okay.
They own both. Super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
And so they're on the podcast. They were on this show too. Go check them out. And they sent me a referral. So it was a personal text message, right? And I like everything standard operating procedure. Here's my calendar link,
Hmm.
book an appointment, fill out the strategy questionnaire. I'll meet you during that time,
Yeah.
right? You want to do your own research, go do your own research. It's all available, right? So then I'm like, all right, texting back and forth, blah, blah, blah. And she's just chatty Cathy, all due respect. And we meet, and she's just chilling cozy on the couch with her little blankie, and which is totally fine, right? You're an entrepreneur, do as you wish.
Yeah. Find your comfort zone.
Find your comfort zone,
Yeah.
right? Next thing you know, this meeting goes like an hour and 15 minutes. And this is totally my fault. Okay. It's 30-minute strategy calls. Never let shit go over time and just set the tone before. Because customers, you give an inch like a kid, they'll take a mile,
Oh yeah.
right? And so I'm like, hey, so it's been an hour and 15 minutes. We're only supposed to be doing this for 30 minutes. I gave you 45 additional minutes, and I already sent you text messages, so you should have already know exactly where we're at, what's going on, what's not. I got lunch, and I got to go take a nap.
Yeah.
I was just keeping it real, And she's like, I haven't had anyone tell me to take a nap outside of my kids. I'm like, well, I like to take naps at 12 o'clock. That's whatever. And so we leave the meeting, and I sent her a text message because I don't call. I just say what I say.
Yeah.
I'm not here to fucking. I like to help people lift off. It's
Yeah.
all part of the fucking persona, right?
Yeah.
So I sent her a text message, and I said, hey, I just want to be real with you. Like, I appreciate you. I sent you the text messages. We had a meeting. I went over time with you. I said, with all due respect, I said, you're building a team, and you should know exactly what you want. And you should have already did your research, and you should have already known because you came in highly referred that you were going to sign up, and you should only have questions. And so she said nothing back. And then I followed back up with it like I said I would on the next Tuesday. And I
Yeah.
said, hey, I didn't want to be rude in the last text message. I just wanted to be upfront with you. Like, we're here to help you lift off. This is what it is. The fact that you come from a technology background, you had to think about it and all this type of stuff. I said, I don't think this is going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I go to Edgar and Hannah's office. I'm like, tell me what happened. What happened? And I just kept it straight with them
Yeah.
because you don't need to work with someone that you don't vibe with.
Yeah.
And it's better to say no instead of having the headache
Yeah.
or have that fucking reputation come and then affect you. And you're like, oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you gotta, who knows, a post, a story, a he said, she said. And it's just like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. People get caught up in their own drama, and you're tired.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you.
Even
Man.
for $1 million, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
For the right
No.
type of drama, it's like, nope.
No, I'd rather work with a small company that it pays half if they're, they believe in what you're doing, and
Yeah.
they get inspired, and they're like, excited about what you're doing versus, working with you 3 months, and then all of a sudden they're a professional. It's like, okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, we just had one. We had a freaking refund. We're like, hey, not gonna be a good fit. And so the guy was all over the place, and I don't know exactly the story, but the team wasn't happy. I empowered the team to be like CEOs of their own. So we have like a video department with a social department and a website department, and there's about just shy of 20 on staff. I have like 500 agents
Nice.
across the country. Right, the goal is a $300 million exit, 15,000 agents, top 1%. And this year we'll probably do, I don't know, maybe like 3 million.
Nice.
This shy hitting like 6 figures in 30 days. And so I was just like, this agent had some issues. He was going back and forth. And I was just like, hey, like, I'm going to talk to the team. And the team said, we don't want to work with them again because I already gave him a refund.
Mhm.
And it's some discriminatory shit.
Mhm.
And then they said he can have the files of all the work we did too for free. I'm like, one of these.
Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
So, you could have everything. Best of luck. And that's where I feel like that's where the respect level gets to a different, because the brand equity is everything. And if you're building a company out there, you don't want to jeopardize that
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, sometimes saying no to something you might need in the moment can elevate you. You know, I've had been in positions recently where I was like, you know what, like that actually isn't going to work.
Mm.
I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from this. And then the very next day, it's like, hey, let's have a meeting. You know, from someone else, and it's like, cool.
Boom.
Yeah, you know that lack and that's
Same same thing happened to me.
yeah.
Same thing. It was next, it's like boom, boom, boom. 3 afterwards closed out, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, soup sounds cliche, you know, because everybody says it, and some people might be the first time hearing this word, but the scarcity, you know, scarcity
Mm,
mindset, you know, like
yeah.
not feeling like enough or having enough or feeling like, you know, incompetent or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
however you want to use it, you know. But that was kind of like I was in like I was like I mean, I'm in a position right now where like I've been pivoting a lot and I need to make this happen. I want to make that happen. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
is working, this isn't working. You know, like I got momentum, I got opportunity. I'm surviving. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but you can get into a position where you sit back and kind of look at yourself and you're like, oh man, I look desperate right now. You know, and I'm not. You know, so what? Am I hungry? Yes. Is there a big difference between being hungry, motivated, and knowing your worth versus being desperate? Huge difference. And so, sometimes you just gotta check yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you do that, like I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, oh man, I felt this weight come off my shoulders. Whenever I was like, hey, this ain't gonna work. And I've done that a few times recently, because I got big dreams, and
Yeah.
I ain't afraid to go after whoever and whatever I want.
Amen.
And so taking yourself out of that scarcity mindset, which like it's easy to get in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in and out of it a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm out of it right now,
That's
and
what's
and
up.
and, and I plan on staying out of it.
That's what's up.
Not that everything's going to be perfect or there's not going to be anything you fret over, and it's like
Yep.
you know scarcity, fear, worry. I mean, you can take it back as far as the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not to preach, but what prayer is to God, fear and worry are to the devil. So
Mm.
where are you giving that energy and that attention to, and,
Yes.
and what is you know what do you believe in, what do you trust?
Yeah.
And it's easy to get caught up in thinking like, like I need this right now, like I could really use this because I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to work that angle and I'm trying to put the puzzle together, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all going to work out if you just keep pushing forward, keep failing forward, and just
Mm.
trust that, like, you know, what the failure today is setting you up for a bigger win,
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Scared money don't make no money.
No, straight up.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes the blessing's been there. We're just, we're being prepared to be able to sustain that blessing,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, we got this whole, someone's going to discover me mindset, that we've had since we were kids, or like,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to work. And, there's got reality TV shows and
Mm-hmm.
everybody just living a life acting like everybody's just watching them. And it's like, no, it's
Mm-hmm.
just you by yourself. Like, if anybody's watching us, it's just the government. But, like straight up,
Straight up.
um, just kind of just keep failing forward,
I love that.
and what is it, Simon, what's his name? Simon City,
Simon Senate or something like that?
something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your why,
Yep.
like put
What's
those
your
two
why?
together. What's your why, and
Another
fail
good book.
forward,
Yeah.
so,
Not to not to
what's your why?
not to preach, but my why?
Go ahead and say what you're going to say. We'll come back to that.
I was gonna say, was gonna say, I was gonna say, scared money don't make no money. Then I was gonna say that, oh yeah, not to go deeper and preach,
Yeah.
but the Lord puts challenges in our life to see how you would take those challenges for the bigger purposes that you have in the future.
Yeah.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
saying no to something that potentially you think you need to pay that bill today
Mm-hmm.
is actually something you don't really need. And if you just say no to that one thing, then maybe you'll get, like we got, those calls, those texts, whatever, of other
Yeah.
opportunities. But my why is like leave the world a better place, man. It's like I've gone through learning disability, twos in my ears, diagnosed with that learning disability in third grade, held back in third grade. teased, made fun of, all that type of stuff. From man boobs to the ex girlfriend clowning on me and shit to like diagnosed with colitis, large intestines inflammation, and all this type of stuff. And going through those things really brought me to the point that I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
And then having the ability to create something because there's so many people out there that like don't understand. Like they're like in this matrix and they're stuck
Yeah.
and they're doing their 9 to 5s and they're doing the best that they think that they could do with the tools that they have, but they totally don't understand. Like you see those interviews and they'll put like a billionaire in a room and it's like they're circled by a bunch of just like your blue collar workers,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll come up and they'll start debating and all this type of stuff. And the number one thing that the people that are debating and a lot of people that are watching right now that don't understand is that we're indoctrinated.
Oh, 100%.
And people think that it's this one way, but what they totally miss is the fact that you've been indoctrinated since you've been born and you know nothing other than what your mom and your brother and your like all the people in your lineage has told
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And all entrepreneurship is breaking. So with anything, it's all about pattern interruption. As soon
Yeah.
as you break the pattern of anything,
Paradigm shift.
you get a paradigm
Yeah.
shift. Correct. And so that's where people don't understand how to break that paradigm shift because they're stuck in a familiarity program. And not only that, but like a safety mechanism. But at the end of the day, it's just like, shit, if you're a hunter gatherer back in the day, you could have a tiger, you could have who knows what, trying to
No.
fucking a bear and shit. You got to run for your life, all these type of things. So it's like my why is to show people that we all deserve liftoff.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like liftoff agent's cool, that pays the bills. This is the catalyst for the future. So I
Yeah.
could really be able to do something in a total different light. And that's why I just live my life like it's a movie and always put out positive shit and just
Yeah.
show like, hey, anything's possible. Just fucking, you know what I'm saying? And I come from nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. My dad, he's 66. He's struggling. He lives in a mobile home right now. My stepmom, she's in a back brace and she's not doing so well right now. My real mom, my stepfather, they're not kind of really married, but they're doing their thing. They're pretty much retired, and they live just a normal life. And so for me, I'm breaking all these cycles and then wanting to share and inspire more people to be like, hey, man, if this dude can do it, I could do it. And I feel like the true freedom is free from anything mentally.
Yeah.
It's not money, it's not time, it's not doing what you want. It's like getting free of like all of the mental fucking like chatter and shit in our brain
Baggage.
and the
Mental
baggage,
baggage. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I'm reading this book right now and it's like as a human species, what do we really know? What
Yeah.
do we really know?
Yeah. And we're finding out lately that we don't know what we thought we
We
knew.
don't know shit.
Yeah.
Whether it's the government with all these veils and shit, or we're on this little rock in the middle of this universe, and it's like, I don't know shit.
Yeah. Is it flat? Is it round? Is it, what
I
is
fucking,
it?
and I'd rather say, I don't know and
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah. Same.
because I don't even want to get into politics.
Same.
I don't even want to get into
I
fucking
try
he
not
said, she
to.
said.
Like, I don't get into politics with anybody unless you're like close to me and you ask me a question and I care about your view on it. I'm like, okay, you're asking me, so maybe you need to think like I do. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
No,
just
dude.
keep
But
it real, bro.
hey, but with that though, bro, I love that, because
Appreciate you.
I just one, I respect adversity,
Mm.
and I didn't always look at it that way. I used it as my scapegoat for why I was the way that I was.
Ah,
This is, I didn't have come from money. I didn't do that,
yeah,
and it's like,
yeah.
similar, like mindset,
Mm.
growing up,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I did homework once ever. And I'm serious. Like
Keeping it real.
they just kept passing me along because they wanted to get rid of me. Like, we like him as a kid, but horrible student,
That's the system for you.
horrible student, always in trouble. Like my biggest goals was getting the most stars next to my name already on the board with a check. Like
Really?
not stars, but the checks next to my name. Stars were for the good kids, checks were for Patrick. So it was name on the
That's
board,
good.
checks next to it. But
Yeah.
I I can relate to, differently to, the story, of overcoming,
Mm.
and kind of being in a position where you're happy with where you're at because maybe people that were surrounding you when
Mm-hmm.
you were younger, you've seen the life that they live because they
Yep.
just stayed with the system and went with the flow and bought into every Ponzi scheme that came along or
Exactly.
whatever. You know, because you know I have a great family, beautiful family, amazing family. You
Mm.
know, but you know, as a kid, I remember, you know, um, my siblings knew, their biological father,
Mm.
and and my sister was from my father who raised me, who
Yeah.
my dad, but he
Yeah.
he wasn't my biological dad.
Mm.
But I'd never met my biological dad. Come to find out later, he had lived like 30 minutes from me my whole life.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Well,
Thanks,
then,
Dad.
I don't want to meet you anyways.
Yeah.
Not now, but like I didn't really ever care because I had a good man in my life, my dad
Amen.
was rough around the edges. He was an old school dude, so
Mm-hmm.
he'd lay into you whenever he needed to, so
Mm.
old world,
Yeah.
and so, and then two big brothers to, make sure you're tough, and one very smart to kind of, I want to read books like him, but I'll start later, like, um, and just kind of going through the struggles of life, because we were just a family that was trying to figure it out. And,
Mm-hmm.
mom was bartending when she met my stepdad, and he was the barfly. And,
Mm.
so just not a super big recipe for success out the gate.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
mom coming into the relationship with a couple boys of her own, just,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it happen. And then, him coming in and not, necessarily, super motivated to have like a family and build a life to, he just wanted to have fun.
Of
You
course.
go up to the mountains and barbecue,
There you
and
go.
stuff. And so we struggled for a long time,
Mm.
and I remember the embarrassment of, like, oh, we seen you and your family walking. Like, I'm like, oh
Mm.
yeah, cool. Yeah, we were going to get milk, No, so like,
Yeah.
but
It's
at the
good.
same time, yeah, straight up. And so uh just kind of, going through life and, our hurdles that we have to go through, like, what you said with,
Mm-hmm.
the health problems and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's something that like people that are close to me know, but I don't talk about it. Nobody would know that, like, I had both my feet rebuilt.
No shit.
Yeah. Like I had three surgeries that,
Wow.
on, well, two surgeries on one foot and one
Mm-hmm.
surgery on the other one, but like put me out of commission. I was in bed for 8 months straight for surgeries, having my, like, they
Wow.
literally took my feet apart and put them back together, Achilles tendon work, everything. Like I had boxes on my feet
Mm.
stimulating nerves, and like I was just like stationary, stuck,
Wow.
and I got scars from the ends of my toes to the back of my heels down both sides of my feet.
Wow.
And it was at the time it was like a, hey, like this is really kind of like a surgery that no one's done, and it's not really something that people do, but like, like
We're
you,
gonna try it on
yeah,
you.
you've had bad feet and you collapsed an arch, going out for football and getting kicked off before, the season
Wow.
started because you're a knucklehead, but like, whatever, like, you want to try it? And I was just like, my mom's like, looked at me, and I was like, let's do it, because I'm being told that I'm going to start running slower and slower and slower, and moving, and
Mm.
I was a rambunctious kid up in the trees, up on the house, jumping off. So I was
Wow.
really rowdy, and like, then had that happen. And, you go from being a little punk in a small town in Arizona trying to fight everybody to all of a sudden being on crutches, and, going back to school in a wheelchair for a little bit and being on crutches for like a year and a half.
Wow.
Everybody wants to fight you now. So, like now it's like,
Damn.
what's up? Like, I mean, I was on crutches and I had a kid pull a knife out on me, and I'm like, bro, like, you would have never done that last year,
Yeah.
but
What the fuck?
yeah. So, like just kind of going through those hurdles of life and getting
Yeah.
into, smoking weed and learning to, do, drugs and stuff and experimenting with them
Mm-hmm.
at a young age, and just kind of, it was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Some of my, best friends are no longer with us. Some of my friends are in prison.
Wow.
Some of them, have done, well.
Mm-hmm.
But, most of the guys I, grew up with, sadly, you know, they're, you miss them,
Of course.
I think about, some of the things that, we've gone through, cause I mean,
Mm.
hearing your story, I just kind of, I had questioned whether or not I wanted to bring it up and talk about it and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
not knowing my father as a kid, but having a good man in my life, there was a good balance and then confusion there, because I
Mm-hmm.
remember he'd be like, "Oh, this ain't my boy, this is Natalie's son," and I'm like, "Oh, shoot, like I thought you were my dad," like like, and
Hello.
he was just rough, like
Yeah, yeah.
thinking back, it's like I'm like, oh my god, he was younger than I am now, like by a few years, so he
Wow.
just talking, and being honest,
Yeah.
and then getting to the point where going through the struggles with my feet, and then not making it out of high school, and going to the alternative center and getting arrested at high school,
Yeah.
and everybody, oh, he got arrested at school, he's a fool, he's one of the worst kids in Globe. I'm like, oh my god,
Jeez
that's pretty bad.
Louise. Yeah. What the fuck?
So
Yeah.
just kind of like overcoming it all, man.
Yeah.
Like I can relate to that in my own
100%.
sense. I love it, so
Hell yeah. No, I mean that's the thing too. It's like the lift-off experience is something too for me to like. How often do you have an opportunity just to chat with someone for a couple hours? And then, until we all have barriers, right? And
no.
we don't know, and then the chatter of the mind, and so it's just like as soon as we start like breaking down barriers and then just being real with ourselves, like someone could just be listening or viewing, like, and also be like, oh shit, like maybe y'all could bring down some barriers,
Hmm.
and just be your true authentic self, because I feel like society has so many ways to be able to show us or teach us to be a certain type of way, when
Oh
it's just
yeah.
like just be undeniable you.
We live in a world where we've all been programmed, like you were saying.
Yeah.
We've all been manipulated and told how to think, and then it's like, okay, cool. Like by our parents, well, they had people that were doing the same thing to
Same
them from a
shit.
different we're in like a new age version of it.
Yep.
And it's like okay, cool. Like like an example for me, I'm like I'm rough around the edges. Some people are
Mm-hmm.
like, oh man, like you're kind of a dick sometimes, and I'm like, well, like I used to be worse, but like that's not the way to look at it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah,
time,
yeah.
progress is progress.
Yeah.
And it's like, my dad was rough around the edges, but his dad was way more rough around the edges, and I can only imagine what his father's father was like,
Yep.
So
Just
it's like,
smoothing out the edges,
yeah,
getting it nice and fun.
everybody's been indoctrinized, and like old version, new world version. Now they're trying to tell us what to think, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's nice to be able to have a conversation about agreeing on that, because like I was like, oh man, because we don't know each other, like
No.
if we could have came in and clashed on
Who fuck?
thoughts and process,
Who
I
knows?
could have showed up with my mask on, So, yeah,
Right? I
yeah,
mean, you never know. But like
yeah,
that's the thing for me too, is like, I don't know, from going on the streets and interviewing random people to
yeah,
like doing something like this.
yeah,
I know my wife's always told me, she's like, I don't know why, but like people just like tell you their whole life story. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's how I am. I'm like, and she tells me like, stop saying so much.
Huh.
Like you need to make it so it's a little mysterious, and this and that. So I'm learning to say less,
Yeah.
not because I need to hide anything. It's just she feels uncomfortable, so I want to respect her, but also I get it. Like you don't want to give someone all of your cards,
Oh
because
no, yeah, same.
then it's like, all right, well, okay, I'm bored now. But I'll tell you what, my
Yeah,
wife has gave me a lot of her cards, almost all of her cards, and it's never boring. Okay,
yeah,
she's freaking redhead, feisty, fucking. It's never a dull moment here. Okay,
yeah,
Spanish woman, she is. Yeah, so, so I think it's just keeping it fun, keeping it exciting, keep people on their toes, and I appreciate you just being open, bro, and
yeah,
like.
man.
And giving just your audience too an opportunity, because I'm sure from my audience, your audience, they're gonna see this and just get a total different perspective. And I think that like helps with street cred, building the brand,
Yeah,
like taking it to a different level. Because now people are gonna be like, "Oh, damn,
yeah.
I didn't know none of that shit about fucking Patrick."
No,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
no.
And
This is
like,
the first.
honestly, that's a pretty freaking inspirational damn story.
Hmm.
Like, you might not have been able to walk for the rest of your life, but shit,
Oh yeah,
you're
yeah.
good.
No, bro. I mean, there's hiccups. I got two different feet in a sense. But which seriously, but it's
Modified.
yeah. I mean, just I ended up. I was playing sports before high school was over.
Yeah.
They were telling me I'd be lucky to walk. And or I
Wow.
wouldn't ever walk again, or I but I just I trusted. I remember going and playing basketball. Just I played a lot of street ball and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
summer sports, because you didn't have to stay ineligible or you didn't have to stay eligible for that.
Okay.
So because
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna make it. Like I would always go out for a team, and one game in or before the season started, I was already you know dropping dirty or just in trouble or,
Shit.
you know, made student council just because of, you know, being what I thought was cool at the time, but then being kicked off of it before the first meeting,
You
stuff like
know,
that.
it's
That
all
was just,
good.
yeah, I was like, okay, cool. I got in a fight right after I got elected, but I was gonna get kicked off as soon as the first report card came, anyways. So, like I don't share that kind of stuff with everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
If you are close enough to me and pick into me, you'll hear and be
yeah.
like, oh wow, like hey, you.
Well, you were like basically a cycle breaker, though. Like
Oh
you were
yeah.
breaking the cycles because it's so interesting. So there's a book I'm reading right now, and it's very philosophical. I'll just put it out there. And so basically, I'll put this back up in a second because I was casting off of here. Yeah, okay. So basically, this book is called Access Super Consciousness. It's
Hmm.
super interesting. And you zoom in, team. I appreciate you. And so basically, this guy, he was like a paraplegic. Like he was literally like I think from neck down, not ever gonna walk again.
Hmm.
And he went through all these things to be able to. I'm gonna cast this back up to be able to. And everyone told him like, "You're never gonna walk again, ever. Like you're done. Like we're gonna retrofit your house. This is your life." And he said, "No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
walk."
Yeah.
And like he went through all of these things, and I'm not even gonna try, but read the book, you can get into the story to get out of that shit. And it was so interesting. He was talking about this one segment in the book about like karma,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, all right, so let's break down karma for a second. You got positive karma, shit that you do, what comes back goes around, right? And
Yeah.
then you have the negative karma, and he's like, let's go extreme, Hitler, that type of shit, right? Or like how you were saying, like you're getting in fights and this and that, and blah blah. And you could say like that can give up a lot of karma, and then you were thinking like shit, like I gotta watch my back, you know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff. But really, it's like without the bad, there's no good. Without the good, there's no bad. There's no contrast.
Yeah.
Like we have to have contrast. And then he was talking about how like karma is something that only comes up if you allow that shit to like come up for you, for it to be karma. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting because you look at some of the most traumatic shit and you think about, well, fuck you, government. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how
Mm-hmm.
could you do COVID and all this type of stuff?
Yeah.
But it has united like human civilization on a total different level. Like, we came together during that time where you read 150 books because of a negative situation, and look what happened. So just like, all the shit you went through, now boom, now you're here fucking serving like a community in a big way, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and doing shit like you would have never even thought.
Oh yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
so, it's like it's crazy, but it's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure, and I appreciate that.
Of course.
Because I mean, you you know, hindsight is pretty amazing because you go back and I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You know, I should have been either murdered, overdosed, in prison,
Mm-hmm.
or just somewhere spun out.
Mm-hmm.
And not because of a bad family or because that was my childhood, but I mean just because of the path that I allowed myself to go
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
and people I allowed myself to be surrounded by,
Mm-hmm.
the lifestyle I thought I glorified.
Mm.
I grew up in the '90s.
Yeah.
I thought hip hop
Yeah.
was the Bible. I thought rap was was scripture. And it's like now I look back and I'm like, oh my god,
That's straight spells, bro.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, half of them were homos.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Straight up.
so it's like, straight spells, 100%, man.
Yeah.
And we live in a language that was built around that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
That low vibe shit that makes you want to do that shit
hmm
that puts you away, and it limits your opportunity for possibility. You know
hmm
what I'm saying? And like it's crazy. So I'll give you a little. I was gonna put a video out about this topic today. I didn't post it yet. I don't know if I will or not. But long story short, talking about like low vibe shit and control a little bit. Like, so my team is in the Philippines, and Philippines is one of the strictest countries in the world.
hmm
Like, they are like literally, you go into a grocery store, there's a security guard, they're looking in your bag when you go in and out. Like, you have to have a passport or a visa to travel almost anywhere. And so the team's going to Japan, and so they have their passport, and they have to take their passport, go to the embassy, and that has to be fucking shipped out to Japan. And then Japan has to physically look at the passport, look at the reason why they're coming, and then they have to give the authorization, and then that shit needs to be mailed back. Now, tell me, riddle me this, Batman. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're like a week before we're supposed to leave. We're not hearing shit.
Hmm.
Mind you, that they have the passport at the embassy over in freaking Japan. It's just like, talk about low vibe, not wanting to be like in a fear based mindset because you're
Mhm.
like so excited your company's gonna pay for this trip
Yeah.
in Japan. You never been, you super excited, but every single night you gotta lay your head down on the bed and wonder, am I going to get the approval and get the visa
Yeah.
to go to the fucking, to go be with my team and to go to Japan?
No.
Fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's some
Feels like a lot
nonsense.
of wasted energy, but rightfully so.
For, yeah, like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
and then that's where I feel like when you, cause like I've been practicing on this manifestation type shit, like being in joy. And so, like, I just been enjoy. Like, yesterday I did a photo shoot. My uncle's in town. I fucking took him out for dinner for his birthday. And then I was just like, I think we're gonna get a couple bookings real quick on the Airbnbs. Boom, last minute, last
Yeah.
night we got a couple bookings. That was $1,000. We did like 6,300 this month,
Yeah.
just off this house and 3 Airbnbs.
That's awesome.
Fucking crazy, bro.
That's
I'm like,
great.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm doing one of these, and ba-da-ba-ba. And so like every single time I've been just in that flow state of joy, I see all this shit happen. But it's just like, how is someone, from the highest level of power supposed to fucking be in joy or have a positive mental attitude like they're gonna be able to travel to Japan to expand their just awareness and expansion and experience in life when the government's just like, stamp, nope, yes, I'm going to make you wait until all the way to the end. So we might have to like pivot our whole entire trip because I'll be there for 2 weeks. So we might have to do, instead of week one, we'll have to have them come week two and then just shift everything,
Yeah.
which is fine. We'll make it happen. But dude,
Yeah. That's not fun.
that's not fun. That's not
Yeah.
fair, bro.
No.
And this is the type of shit governments are doing, bro,
Yeah.
for,
Oh,
to their people. It's
yeah.
fucking crazy.
And sadly, like that's the small stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
But at the same time, like it affects your life
yeah.
in a big way.
Oh my God, for
So
sure.
yeah, like
Us
so.
team building, growing the company,
Yeah.
like getting everyone together. You
Well,
know what I'm
the
saying?
what ebbs and flows,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
emotion,
Mm-hmm.
from like that's yeah, no, dude. I mean, I got mad at a guy driving over here. Hey,
What the fuck?
yeah, learn how to drive.
Arizona drivers are crazy though. I will say, bro, I've never seen, if you go to Arizona, so many fucking attorney signs for car accidents,
Yeah,
bro. It is
yeah,
crazy out here. People be
yeah.
hell of aggressive
People be
driving.
getting in car accidents reading billboards about getting in car accidents.
For real.
So straight up.
Straight up for real, dude. But no, it's good. And that's the thing. We all have our shit. It is what it is, right? Like that's one
Yeah.
thing. One thing I'm working on is just like tracking my shit and then calling my shit out. Like if I feel some type of way, and then
Hmm.
I want to get through to a point of like self mastery where it's like I don't want to say I don't give a fuck because I'm like depressed, or I don't give a fuck because I don't really care.
Hmm.
I just want to say I don't give a fuck because I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna let it affect me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like we let like so much shit affect us, and we're like, why the fuck? Why?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yeah.
why does it?
I'm guilty of it too, man. I mean,
It's so easy to do.
it is. It's super easy to let things like out of your control or out of other
Yeah,
people, whoever's next to you out of their control, affect you. And most of the time,
yeah.
you can. Luckily, most of the time, you can look back and be like, "Oh, that was really stupid,"
What the fuck?
But like, and then there's things that like that. It's just like you can't control.
Yeah,
Like, you know, um, not to go dark, but like, I
it's
mean,
good.
losing people. Like dude, I went through I've gone through so many things where I'm like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. And it's just stupid, silly stuff.
Yeah.
But I've also gone through situations in life where it's like I lost my brother,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then, 3 years later, we lost our sister, my other brother's wife,
Damn.
so who was, she wasn't just a sister-in-law. She was our childhood sister growing up in
Wow.
the house with us,
Yeah. Yeah.
during
Yeah.
childbirth,
Oh my God.
so we were barely in a position where we were like getting back to feeling normal, like
Mm.
alive again. This
Yeah.
this this part of us had been ripped out of our chest as a family, and
Yeah.
we're like, going to celebrate a new baby coming in, and then losing her. And so then it's just like, man, like, I don't understand the point. I don't know what this is for.
Mm.
But I know that I have to make it good,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
saving me.
Yeah.
Because when I lost my brother, I was starting to go down a road that I had
Mm.
been clean from for a long time.
Wow.
And just being able to experience those last couple of days with him whenever he came to my house and
Mm.
stayed there. And this is my brother who was like my father figure as a child,
Okay.
who the tables have turned, and I was kind of like in a position where he's like, what are we gonna go eat for dinner? And I'm just
Oh
like,
shit.
wow, this is crazy. This is my big brother, it's my superhero,
Damn, you're
you know.
asking me and shit.
Yeah, and just kind of, and then going through that with our sister, our sister-in-law, and just experiencing that, and just kind of, and then from that, just getting into a position where it's like, okay, cool, like like I hate it. I'm so
Mm.
disappointed that we don't have them anymore. But I'm gonna go ahead and it's time to just keep going.
Yeah.
And then my best
Amen.
friend from my childhood took his own life.
Fuck.
And so, this is my ride and die every day homie, forever,
Any signs, or could you even tell, or was that
there was signs, and I
okay?
would reach
Okay.
out, I would show up and try to help him in my own ways. And, and it's like I blamed myself a lot right after
Ah.
because, I remember whenever I was the one, spun out and him being like worried about the guys that I was dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and him just be
Mm-hmm.
like, who are they that just showed up and like came into our party and acted like they owned the spot and you just disappeared and now you're back and like, what was that? And I'm like, I'll say nothing, bro. Like, we just chilling on Country Club in 8th Ave, like that's what's up.
Yeah, that's
And,
good.
and so then to later him go down that road and we went down, we played around with a lot of it together. We grew up doing that.
Wow.
We had bad influences in our life that made
Mm.
us think it was cool.
Mm.
And so then losing him in the way that we did, it leaves you, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you know and then right after that, Romeo, and I'm like, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and you get into a position where you start, wanting to question God, and it's like that's never a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a big difference between questioning and just hoping that enlightenment comes,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
because I'm stronger than I ever would have been,
Wow. Wow.
and I'm just thankful, that I can sit here right now. It's like everything ain't perfect, everything could be
Mm-hmm.
better in different areas, but like I am
Mm-hmm.
blessed, I'm
Amen.
I'm healthy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm successful in my own ways,
Hell yeah.
and I got opportunity that I get to capitalize on. So like, there's so much to be happy about.
And you never know.
Yeah.
You never know at what point in time that will be the catalyst of something. Like something will happen, or something will come up, and it'll just like come back full circle or whatever. And then you'll be able to know how to handle something different
Yeah.
because you've been there.
Yeah.
And that could be, whatever, one day when you're a father, or you have a friend or something that comes up and they lose someone, who knows, you'll have a different perspective
Yeah.
or what. I mean, you could still do something dope for
Yeah.
them too. If you wanted to do like
Yeah.
at an event, you got merch now. I mean, you could do something sick for them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then obviously, you gotta keep moving for them too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. I
I'm
mean, the
sure they're
memory of
looking down on
them.
you.
Like, I mean, there's ways to come up with foundations and stuff to be
Yeah.
supportive of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that come up with foundations just to get rich. But like at the same time, it's like our experiences can be something that shape us, obviously,
Yeah.
and that we can use, to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like, okay, cool, like, because I mean, there's people that have stories where I'm like, man, like, I'm so blessed.
Mm.
Everything I've gone through, like, I, I heard that story and I was like, I mean, not to downplay anything I've ever been through, but like that was tough. Like, good for
Mm-hmm.
them, like,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's people out there that would look at my story and be like, I would have quit,
Yeah.
and I almost did, like,
Yeah.
um, but just to be in a position where it's like your story can help one person, or you could end up talking to millions, and so, you never
Amen.
know what God's got in store for us,
Yeah.
so
And the crazy part is too is like every single thing in your life, in my life, and in your life who's watching or viewing, it's like took us to this exact place
hmm
where we can then all I have this co-creation opportunity just to be able to share, decompress a little bit, and then I don't know, just take a minute
yeah,
because we always just live in that fast pace, go go go, and it's
yeah,
like, and it's cool, and I really appreciate you taking this opportunity, with a stranger. I know what you see online is one thing. I like to try to portray exactly who I am. So if you go deep enough, watch my shit, like what you see, what you get.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's no difference. We get a little closer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She slows down a little bit, It's not this highlight fucking reel and shit on social media. But no, man, I appreciate you, bro. This has been phenomenal. I can't believe it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, it went by quick.
It went by like, that's why I said, bro. This guy hits me up with a message. He's like, hey, are we cool just do an hour? I'm like, watch, bro. Trust the process.
Yeah, no, I know, man.
I told you, hour 15, we're in. I was like, damn. And then we finally started connecting because that's the thing, too. Like, not everyone's going to watch the whole fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, no.
They just don't.
Yeah.
It's only going to be a certain segment of people that actually really care about you or me, or maybe something resonates or some shit.
Yeah, my mom will watch the whole thing.
So am I. Shout out, moms.
I love you, mama.
We love you. We appreciate you. Let's go. I'll give you one of these. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing how everything evolves.
Yeah.
And it's cool because like I see things on the front end, but now I have a total different perspective and respect for you, your hustle, what you've done. And it's cool because like this is your territory. Like I just came here in 2020, so I'm new here. So I appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you having me on. Kind of making me get out of my box a little bit because we live in a life of highlights and highlight reels, literally.
Amen.
And I've leaned into the not really like. I mean, I heard you say the mystery earlier, and I was like, well, I guess I kind of leaned into that, but it's just because like. I don't share everything. I'd rather just, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do for work. Give me some money. You know what I mean?
Let's go. Hey, but we got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and it's just got to find a way where it's like people see the value, they're happily willing to pay you, and then it's a win-win.
As long as you're adding value, man, because, we live in a world, like you said, bot followers, bot likes, bot views. I mean, celebrities get busted doing it
all the time.
And it's like we said, like, we know you're doing it. Like, you just got to click on it. And you got a lot of accounts from out of the country with no profile, with like
no picture.
Yeah, you got 150,000 followers and 4 likes. Cool. Not, we probably shouldn't end on hate, but.
Just keep it real. It's all good. Thank you for watching today's episode of the Liftoff Experience, as it is our intention to be able to help you have more liftoff in your life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. That's why we bring on amazing individuals and amazing episodes to be able to help you do as such. New episodes come out every single Saturday. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below with one thing that you took away from the episode. And if you have a compelling story that you wish to share and you want to come to Phoenix, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona specifically, to our recording studio, we'd love to have you on an episode. And a big thank you to Liftoff Agent, who does the thumbnail, writes the copy, does all the content for our show behind the scenes, as all I do is find guests, point and shoot, and have a good time. So thanks so much to Liftoff Agent team. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the episode, and just do us a favor and like, subscribe, give us your feedback so we can get this out to more individuals. And of course, you can share this with someone else that you think that should see it, because at the end of the day, we all have to help each other and serve each other to have more liftoff. And now, our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and see all of our other videos. If you're listening to this, just go to the Liftoff Experience on YouTube. And if you're watching this, then you can see on the screen that we have lots of episodes that you can take a look at and you can watch today to be able to go deeper with different subject matters to help you have more liftoff in your life. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. God bless. We'll see you all on the next one.